A month later, a blue ray darted over tens of thousands of kilometers from U City and disappeared into the heartless sea. A month later, a blue ray darted over tens of thousands of kilometers from U City and disappeared into the heartless sea. This was Yi Mo's blue moon. Yi Mo met Ji Ling's essence spirit, and although it was about to dissipate, it could be saved for now with Yi Mo's spirit cleansing bead. However, he knew that if he didn't find the immortal curl flower soon, he still wouldn't be able to save Ji Ling. The immortal curl flower had only been said to appear in one place, although no one had seen it before, and that was the heartless sea. The immortal curl flower could perfectly rebuild a cultivator's body, as well as essence spirit. If he found a mortal curl flower, Ji Ling would be saved, but without it, Ji Ling's death was unavoidable. Yi Mo strengthened Blue Moon's formation by adding another stealth formation. Yi Mo knew the hardest part about crossing Heartless Sea wasn't time or distance. It was that there were too many powerful beings there. If one offended a powerful faction in the Heartless Sea, even truth realization state cultivators couldn't be saved, much less him. So, Yi Mo tried to keep low-key. If it weren't for Ji Ling, he wouldn't even plan on stopping at all. Ji Ling's essence spirit was weak, and Yi Mo put the spirit cleansing bead on the Herb King spirit range. After doing all that, Yi Mo set up another surveillance formation on Blue Moon before attaching 8 extreme grade spirit stones and going into the Golden Page world to use the time formation disc to cultivate. Using a split of his spirit sense to control Blue Moon would reduce his speed, but Yi Mo didn't want to waste time. After flying for another month, Yi Mo was in the deep sea. He was body condensation state level 5 now, and although he gave all the spirit marrow pawns to Luo Ying and them, he had an extreme grade spirit range. This was no weaker than the spirit marrow pond, and the spirit chi was even denser. The only thing was it wasn't as easily devoured as the spirit marrow. But it didn't affect Yi Mo as he had the bitter bamboo. He didn't encounter any obstacles in this month. Even if he met some spirit beasts, Blue Moon was too fast and had already passed before they could react. The only pity was Blue Moon used 8 extreme grade spirit stones a month. Although Yu Chichao gave him some, and he collected some himself, there were only about 100 now. This would only be enough to support Blue Moon for a year. The second month was about to pass, but Yi Mo had reached body condensation state level 6. Just when he was about to reach body condensation state level 7, a flying magic artifact faster than Blue Moon chased up to him. The target was clearly Blue Moon. Yi Mo was shook. He quickly left the Golden Page world and controlled Blue Moon to accelerate. With his full power concentrated on this, Blue Moon was even faster. The flying magic artifact behind also noticed this and sped up as well. Yi Mo soon found that after the people behind accelerated too, their speed was on par with him. He had a bad feeling, but when he saw that there were only 3 people behind, and the strongest one was only Cauldron Filling State Level 3, he stopped Blue Moon. If the chase continued, he would be exposed and noticed. It was a chariot-flying magic artifact, and at the front stood a pretty young girl with milky white skin. Her wavy hair fell loosely on her shoulder, and her face was a little red. What shook Yi Mo were her chests. They were like 2 huge mountains. This made Yi Mo think of his teacher Yunbing. Out of all the women he knew, Yunbing's chests were definitely big, but they weren't enough compared to this girl. Thinking of Yunbing, Yi Mo suddenly felt a little sad. Ever since he left Ninghai, he never went to visit her, nor Ting Ting. Perhaps they would never meet again. Humph, a sneer sounded, and Yi Mo turned around. She looked at most in her teens, but was already hollow spirit state middle stage. Why are you running when you saw us coming? Did you do something bad? Who gave you the right to do what you want in this place? The girl asked coldly. Yi Mo frowned. This girl was either stupid or intentionally starting trouble. He didn't care about the girl, but the 2 people behind her. one cauldron filling state level 2, one cauldron filling state level 3. Either of them would be quite tough for him to handle. It seemed her status was quite high as the two were her guards. Are your ears deaf? Did you not hear me asking you? The girl asked unhappily after seeing that Yi Mo didn't reply. Yi Mo said coldly, "What does anything I do have to do with you? Is the Heartless Sea your home? Am I not allowed to pass?" "You're asking to die." The cauldron filling state level 2 heard this and immediately released a dark magic artifact. Yi Mo didn't even see what it was, but the cauldron filling state level 3 stopped the cauldron filling state level 2. He said to Yi Mo coldly, "You're right. This place is our mistress's home. Considering that it's your first offense, leave your flying magic artifact, and you can leave." Yi Mo immediately realized the girl's dodgy eyes showed that she wanted his blue moon, but she could keep dreaming. Yi Mo also noticed that when the cauldron filling state cultivator spoke, there was a sliver of cruelty in his eyes. Clearly, as soon as he gave blue moon, he would kill him. A mere body condensation state cultivator dares to cross the Heartless Sea. Insolent, the cauldron filling state level 2 sneered. Yi Mo could tell these people weren't spirit beasts, but he didn't understand why there were cultivators at the depth of the Heartless Sea. "Sorry, I'm not going to play with you." Yi Mo was about to activate Blue Moon. "Since you don't want to live, I'll fulfill your dream," that cauldron filling state level 2 said, and waved a black ray over at Yi Mo's head. Yi Mo sneered. If he really wanted to run, he wouldn't stop at all. This was the first time he fought with a cauldron-filling state cultivator. He wasn't careless at all and immediately released Octagonal Cauldron and Zisu. When that dark magic artifact came above Yi Mo's head, he immediately felt this space didn't belong to him. Even the Octagonal Cauldron wasn't able to spin. He was shook and thought of the strike he created at the Spirit Marrow Palace and the words of that cultivator, domain. Was this domain? This guy's domain wasn't even a little bit completed, but after that past experience and this little bit of domain, his knowledge of domains instantly cleared up. He felt that he could easily turn that binding into his. There was no reason. It was a type of confidence. The next moment, Zisu hacked out and a long purple ray and his strong desire of binding space flew out. Nice cauldron. The cauldron-filling state saw Yi Mo's octagonal cauldron and quite liked it. Good thing. Air Wu, I want that big cauldron as well, the young girl said. Yi Mo sneered and hacked out Zisu even faster. The space that bound Yi Mo quickly shattered. Domain. The cauldron-filling state, level 2, felt he couldn't restrict Yi Mo's magic artifact, and instead his magic artifact was restricted. He really didn't understand how a body condensation state cultivator could understand domains. Even he, who was under the tutelage of the sect leader, only barely understood a little bit. But he realized too late his magic artifact completely stopped. Rumble crack, Zisu clashed with the dark magic artifact, and purple rays splashed everywhere. That cauldron-filling state spat blood and flew out, dragging a trail of blood behind him. That cauldron-filling state flew out 100 meters and stopped himself. The girl and the cauldron-filling state level 3 watching were shook. They never expected a cauldron-filling state level 2 would be hacked away by a body condensation state level 6 in one strike. That cauldron-filling state level 3 saw Yi Mo was about to continue the attack and quickly released his magic artifact to stop Yi Mo. That cauldron-filling state flew out 100 meters and stopped himself. The girl and the cauldron-filling state level 3 watching were shook. They never expected a cauldron-filling state level 2 would be hacked away by a body condensation state level 6 in one strike. That cauldron-filling state level 3 saw Yi Mo was about to continue the attack and quickly released his magic artifact to stop Yi Mo. Yi Mo saw this and rejoiced. This was his desired effect. He knew with his current power, even if he injured that cauldron-filling state level 2, he wouldn't be able to kill him. Drawing that cauldron-filling state level 3 away from the flying chariot was his goal. So when the cauldron-filling state tried to stop him, he turned away and flew towards the flying chariot. The two saw this and were scared shitless. They immediately knew what Emo was trying to do. Their mistress wouldn't last even half a move. "Don't kill her," the cauldron-filling state level 3 quickly called. If the mistress died, them dying wasn't even a big deal, but their family would have their souls burned. The wavy-haired girl saw Emo coming and was immediately scared shitless. She saw a purple ray fly over. "Am I going to die?" This was her only thought. Emo wasn't brainless enough to kill this young girl. It was obvious she had a big background, and if he killed her, that would be big trouble. If he was hunted on the Heartless Sea, how could he escape? He just wanted to destroy their flying chariot. Without it, how could they chase him? Su hacked on the flying magic artifact, and it made a huge explosion. Without looking at his result, he flew into Blue Moon and turned into a blue ray and disappeared. The flying cultivation artifact had a crack. It didn't affect flying, but it would be impossible to chase up to Emo again. Arg. The girl screamed after Blue Moon disappeared. "This bastard ruined my flying chariot. I'm going to kill him." The cauldron-filling state cultivators looked at each other in shock. They were rejoicing that the strike wasn't targeted at their mistress. They were also shocked at Emo's power. If there was only one of them, perhaps he wouldn't choose to run, and would instead kill them. How was a body condensation state this powerful? This was too absurd. Did he hide his power? That cauldron-filling state level 3 asked. The cauldron-filling state level 2 fell silent and shook his head after a while. "Impossible. I felt that strike, its body condensation state cultivation essence. I really don't understand how a body condensation state cultivator is this strong. Da Wu, Air Wu, let's chase up. I'm not going to let that bastard get away. I'm going to kill him and get his cauldron and that flying magic artifact. Wait, and that kitchen knife." The young girl yelled. The cauldron-filling state level 3 said, "Mistress, that person intentionally damaged our flying magic artifact. And even if he didn't, we can only keep up but not chase up to him. Now, it's even more impossible. He ruined my magic artifact. I'm not going to let him go. I'm going to kill him. Go back immediately. Get my father to send out the hunt order. I don't believe he will be able to run from our Tong High Coat land." The mistress clenched her teeth. She already forgot that Emo didn't kill her, or in her subconscious mind, she felt no one dared to kill her. After escaping tens of thousands of kilometers away, Emo breathed easy. Luckily, he destroyed their flying magic artifact. He wouldn't be able to get any benefit out of fighting those two cauldron-filling state. Emo didn't dare to stay in Golden Page World to cultivate anymore. He controlled Blue Moon to speed north while using time to cultivate. Another month later, Emo was body condensation state level 7. He felt his power increase again. More importantly, he had a deeper feeling of space control and a completely new knowledge of domains. Emo was cultivating on Blue Moon today, and suddenly his spirit sense scanned. There were 3 nascent soul state cultivators chasing a level 6 spirit beast. Emo thought his spirit sense was faulty and quickly checked again. It was right. In the depth of the Heartless Sea, there were nascent soul states chasing a spirit beast. Emo put away his Blue Moon and dashed to that level 6 sea lion. He easily kicked it unconscious, and those 3 nascent soul state just arrived. Seeing what Emo did, they were all horrified. Clearly, Emo's power was far greater than theirs. The few nascent soul state cultivators quickly bowed. "We greet Qian Bei." Emo nodded. "This is the depth of the Heartless Sea. How can you overtly hunt spirit beasts? With your powers, is there no danger?" The 3 immediately understood what Emo meant and asked respectfully, "Qian Bei just came to Heartless Sea, right?" Emo nodded. "Yes. What's wrong?" The nascent soul state cultivator quickly said, "Qian Bei might not know that despite this place being extremely far from the nearest city of South Peace State, Mo High City, but this isn't the depth of the Heartless Sea. This is still the border of Heartless Sea. In order to reach deep sea, even top-grade cultivation artifacts need about 2 to 3 years. We're the Sea Cultivator Alliance cultivators, and this is part of the Sea Cultivator Alliance's region. Yemo was speechless. He had been in the Heartless Sea for 4 months, and he thought he was in the deep sea, but he was still actually at the border. Suddenly, he thought, how did that cauldron-filling state know he was passing through the Heartless Sea? Yemo asked again, where is the Sea Cultivator Alliance? Are there large amounts of cultivators living on the islands here? The nascent Soul State immediately replied, Qianbei, this place indeed has large amounts of cultivators living here because it's not part of the deep sea. There are 3 big powers here. We call them the 3 seas. Tell me about them, Yemo said casually. One of them said, the number 1 of the 3 seas is Tong High Cult. The cult leader Yonglai is said to be Truth Realization State peak stage. The second is our Sea Cultivator Alliance. The alliance leader Wang Tsang is Truth Realization State tertiary stage, and we have 2 Truth Realization State vice leaders. The third is Tsang High Palace. The 3 kings, there are also Truth Realization State cultivators. Then why don't you go South Peace State, but instead stay here? Yemo asked. The cultivator bowed. Qianbei, most of us came from South Peace State, but the resources there are too rare and expensive. With our talent, it's hard for us to find a good sect, and even if we do, we won't get many resources. But in the Heartless Sea, it's different. It's dangerous, but we get paid heftily. As long as we work hard finding resources, we can trade them for pills. Yemo realized, as long as one worked hard, one could cultivate to the extreme in the Heartless Sea, as it had boundless resources. That's right, Yemo subconsciously answered. Yes, Qianbei, but the only bad things is there are always beast tides attacking. Usually, the 3 seas would work together to stop the beast tides. Yemo didn't ask about that anymore, and said, do you have a map of the Heartless Sea? The cultivator dazed, but quickly said, the Heartless Sea maps are very precious. We can't get them, but if Qianbei wants PME, you can try your luck on the Ling Island. It's the Sea Cultivator Alliance's land, about 300,000 kilometers from here. If Qianbei wants to go, we have a map here. Then he took out a jade slip to Yemo. Yemo thanked him and gave a few soul essence pills before going. This Qianbei is so young and wealthy. He easily gave a few soul essence pills, the cultivators exclaimed. Yemo didn't keep heading off. He came here and realized his preparations weren't sufficient. He didn't expect there were these powers still here a few months into the Heartless Sea. So he planned to go to that Ling Island to scout out where the immortal crow flower appeared in the Heartless Sea and to buy a precise map. It would be best if he could get one that clearly stated where the spirit beast power factions were in the Heartless Sea, so he could avoid them. Yemo didn't keep heading off. He came here and realized his preparations weren't sufficient. He didn't expect there were these powers still here a few months into the Heartless Sea. So he planned to go to that Ling Island to scout out where the immortal crow flower appeared in the Heartless Sea and to buy a precise map. It would be best if he could get one that clearly stated where the spirit beast power factions were in the Heartless Sea, so he could avoid them. Yemo thought that since Ling Island was just an island, it wouldn't be very big, but when he came to the island, he found that he was greatly mistaken. There was a spirit sense barrier formation, but Yemo couldn't see how big the island was at all. The South Peace City was rather big, but Yemo felt that even a few more of that city wouldn't even be 1/10 of the land here. There was actually such a huge island here in the Heartless Sea. This was far from what Yemo expected. What shook him the most was that the defense formation here reached level 9 peak stage. Even Jiling might not be able to set it up. After entering the island, Yemo felt a powerful spirit sense scan over, clearly checking his power, but that spirit sense didn't stop at all, and he didn't get questioned. There were many cultivators here, but Yemo didn't see any beast cultivators. They were all human cultivators. When Yi-Mo first came in, he found that the prosperity here was no lesser than any great city on land. The spacious streets had all sorts of stores on the sides, and in some open spaces there were some stalls. This was a huge market, and there were all sorts of cultivators there. There was the smell of the ocean. Yi-Mo scanned with his spirit sense, and most of the materials here were related to the sea. Yi-Mo asked, and a decent level 5 beast core was only a few thousand top-grade spirit stones. This price was very cheap. Yi-Mo wasn't interested in these beast cores here. If there was one level 8 or above, he might ask about it. Yi-Mo came to a rather large shop called Sea Treasure Place. He wanted to buy a large map, but as soon as he walked into this shop, his body went cold, and his power was instantly limited to below golden core state. Yi-Mo was shook and subconsciously was about to release his magic artifact, but he soon calmed down. This probably wasn't targeted at him. Anyone who came in here would have his power restricted. He carefully looked around and saw all the cultivators here acted normal, and he knew he was thinking too much. He broke out in a cold sweat and became more careful. On this island, even a shop was this careful and could set up such terrifying formations that limited others' power. This was too shocking. Even in the South Peace State, he didn't see such a shop. He couldn't set up this power-limiting formation. If this wasn't someone else's shop, Yi-Mo even wanted to study this formation. What formation was this powerful that could even limit one's power? But Yi-Mo knew he couldn't do that. Perhaps as soon as his spirit sense touched the formation, he would be taken away for questioning. Contrary to the South Peace State, there were no attendants nor someone to introduce you to things. You had to go look around yourself and ask. There were tens of cultivators looking inside, and he also looked around. He was planning to ask someone if there were sea maps, but when he saw the variety of forgery materials, he was immediately interested. He needed all sorts of materials to practice forgery. He was a level 6 forgery great master. If he bought some materials and kept practicing forgery, would he be a cultivation artifact forgery grand master when he went back to North Far State? Yi-Mo also saw a strange phenomena. The spirit artifacts here was absurdly expensive, while the materials here were much cheaper than the South Peace State. Sigh, I really want to learn forgery if I knew I wouldn't have to hunt beasts and find materials anymore. A nascent soul state cultivator shook his head and sighed. Yi-Mo heard this and had an idea. He didn't have many spirit stones left, and now he had a better way of collecting materials. Thinking about this, Yi-Mo walked up to the person behind the counter and asked, "Is there a sea map here?" The person was only golden core state and could tell Yi-Mo was stronger than him. He quickly said, "Yes, Qianbei, please wait a moment." Then he casually took out more than 10 jade slips and said, "Qianbei, our Sea Treasure Place's sea maps are the most complete. This includes everywhere within a few million radius of the Ling Island, and the markings are very clear." Yi-Mo took out a few and looked before frowning. "I don't want this. I want the map for the entire Heartless Sea." With this, all the cultivators in the shop looked at Yi-Mo. Clearly Yi-Mo asked for too much. The person dazed and shook his head. "Qianbei, there's no sea map for the Heartless Sea. Even the entire Ling Island won't have it. An auction 10 years ago had won, but it wasn't very complete. It was bought away for 100 million spirit stones." Yi-Mo was shook. Even if there was such a map, he wouldn't be able to afford it. Seeing this, the person smiled. Clearly, there were too much ignorant cultivators like Yi-Mo. He clearly wanted to cross the Heartless Sea. Many cultivators wanted to do this, but none of them succeeded. "Thank you," Yi-Mo smiled bitterly. He still wanted to ask about the immortal curl flower, but it seemed he didn't need to, or he would be seen as a queer. Yi-Mo didn't have the mood to buy materials here anymore. They were cheap, but he needed large amounts. After leaving the shop, Yi-Mo felt his power recover. He felt more threatened by the formation of the shop, but this method was quite useful. If he could master this formation, perhaps he could use it for his shop in Mou City. He didn't continue asking other shops, and instead came to the market. He found a spacious place and put up a sign, "Forgery on the spot." Yi Mo calculated the price for a spirit artifact and the materials needed. The spirit artifact was 5 times the price of the materials. This was quite absurd. In South P State, it would be about 5 to 2 times the price. So Yi Mo's sign read, "Forgery of middle-grade spirit artifact. Price is 2 times the price of the materials." That means if you gave 2 times the materials, you can get 1 spirit artifact. Yi Mo thought he would immediately get a lot of people wanting to ask him for forgery, but he waited for a whole day, and there was not a single customer. Did these people love getting ripped off at shops, or did they not want something from a roadside stall? This wasn't right. Cultivators wouldn't care about that. They only cared about quality. There were quite some cultivators looking at this sign, but they pointed at it and left. He wasted a whole day and didn't get a single customer. Just when he was about to leave, he heard a person ask timidly, "May I ask if you really only take double the price of the materials?" Yi Mo heard this and rejoiced. He looked up and saw one man and woman. Both were Golden Core State primary stage. It was the female cultivator speaking. Her hair was slightly yellow and her body was skinny. Yi Mo quickly said, Yes, just double the material price, but you're my first customer. I've decided to forge for free." Yi Mo just needed a start. The 2 cultivators looked surprised and joyful. They didn't expect that because they were the first customers, they didn't even have to pay. The 2 cultivators looked surprised and joyful. They didn't expect that because they were the first customers, they didn't even have to pay. The skinny, sallow female cultivator quickly said, Thank you, Qian Bei." Then she took out a big block of sea blue coral and said, "I only have this material and I want to make a low-grade flying spirit artifact. If it's not enough, I have a few more level 5 spirit beast materials." It was because she didn't have enough materials but still wanted a flying magic artifact but didn't have enough payment for the forgery master that she was so overjoyed when she saw Yi Mo's advertisement. A few people who knew the 2 shook their heads. He's clearly a fraud, and they still believed him. I heard someone did this last year. He collected a lot of materials but didn't forge a single spirit artifact. That person was powerful, so the people who lost their material couldn't do anything about it. Yi Mo heard the discussion clearly and frowned. He finally understood why he had no business. Someone already used this move, and he was a fraud. The 2 heard people's discussion and immediately became nervous. The male cultivator looked at the sea blue coral in Yi Mo's hands and was very scared Yi Mo would ruin it, because it was obvious that Yi Mo's power was something they couldn't mess with. If Yi Mo broke their material, they could only suck it up. Yi Mo saw this and smiled calmly. "If you guys believe me, then I will help you forge a flying magic artifact. If you don't believe me, I will give the sea blue coral back to you right now." "No, Qian Bei, I trust you," the female cultivator said adamantly. Yi Mo nodded. "Okay, then I'll help you make it now." The sea blue coral was a level 5 extreme grade material. If it was given to Lu Wuhu, Yi Mo believed Lu Wuhu could even forge a top grade, or even a half-extreme grade spirit artifact. Although he couldn't compare with Lu Wuhu, if he could only forge a low-grade spirit artifact, he would be too much of a failure. So Yi Mo had decided to at least forge a middle-grade flying magic artifact. Yi Mo waved his hand, and a deep orange flame appeared in his flame. Yi Mo's flame immediately shocked the people around. Purple flower fire. It's a rare flame. Can he really forge spirit artifacts? He's not a fraud. I remember that forgery cultivator before didn't forge artifacts in front of anyone. He said he was forging in a restriction, and it eventually failed. Then the materials were gone. I think this Qian Bei has real capabilities. Otherwise he wouldn't do this in front of everyone, nor have purple flower fire. It's probably so. This way he wouldn't be able to keep the materials for himself secretly. The sea blue coral soon turned into a blue liquid under the purple flower fire and floated before Yi-mo sent signs into the blue liquid. It was extremely fast, and even the cultivators watching couldn't count how many hand signs Yi-mo used. It seemed Yi-mo was inscribing formations while refining the materials. It doesn't seem right. I've seen other people forge. Why doesn't he have a cauldron? Yeah, he at least needs a forgery cauldron, right? This is so strange. The discussions didn't affect Yi-mo at all. He, of course, knew forgery needed a forgery cauldron. Usually only low-grade magic artifacts could be forged without forgery cauldron. High-level spirit artifacts and even cultivation artifacts weren't able to be forged without a forgery cauldron. Three-Birth Champ was about everything growing and simulating itself. Confining it wasn't the best way. So he gave up the forgery cauldron and didn't use it to confine the magic artifact. Yi-mo found that forging this way had a higher requirement for spirit sense based on the level of the magic artifact. Ordinary forgery masters would have damaged the materials already before the magic artifact formed because their spirit sense wasn't enough to control the material. But Yi-mo had purple eye soul sever, so his spirit sense was powerful. But Yi-mo discovered that if he didn't use a forgery cauldron, the magic artifact forged would be much stronger than other magic artifacts of the same level. With this experience, Yi-mo was even more adamant on giving up the forgery cauldron. For a time, he even wanted to give up pill cauldron for pill concoction, but he soon found that giving that up made him only concoct heaven grade, level 1 pill at most. And the pills concocted were very potent, they weren't mild at all, and would easily damage the cultivator's meridians. It wasn't beneficial for cultivators. Eventually, Yi-mo's conclusion was that for forgery it was better to be powerful and dominating, but for pill concoction, the pill cauldron was needed to remove that dominance and make the pills mild. Perhaps once he became an extreme grade pill king, he wouldn't need a pill cauldron, but still could concoct mild pills. As more and more people watched, the blue gust shone brighter and brighter. Eventually, it was even a little too radiant. Another 7 minutes later, the blue gust buzzed, and soon it began to morph. This time was short, and when the spinning stopped, an extremely exquisite blue flying magic artifact appeared in Yi-mo's hand. Top-grade spirit artifact. It's actually a top-grade spirit artifact. Level 5 sea blue coral was forged into a top-grade spirit artifact. Is this real? The defense formation on it looks like at least level 6. Amazing! Such a powerful flying magic artifact. The discussion grew louder and louder. The crowd grew more and more excited. No one expected that Yi-mo was not only not a fraud, but a forgery master who could concoct top-grade spirit artifacts. He was at least a level 7 spirit artifact forgery master. This made the two cultivators very excited. Their face became red, and they also began to worry. They were worried if Yi-mo would take back the free deal. The price difference between low-grade and top-grade spirit artifacts was huge. A top-grade spirit artifact could buy tens of low-grade spirit artifact. Yi-mo handed the flying ship magic artifact to the female cultivator and said, "I've made a top-grade spirit artifact. Are you happy with it, friend?" The female cultivator took the spirit artifact excitedly, and even her hands were shaking. How could she not be happy with this? If Yi-mo didn't help her, even if she worked hard for a few decades, she might not be able to get this. Yi-mo did this to promote his name. Thank you, Qianbei. The male cultivator reacted and quickly thanked. Yi-mo waved his hand. "You're the first to come to my business. You're helping me too. Don't worry." Then Yi-mo got up and saluted with his fists. "Friends, I'm here for forgery." Everyone saw it just then. It's still the same price. 2 sets of materials for a middle-grade spirit artifact or top-grade spirit artifact. Those friends who need it can sign up now. With this, the spectating cultivators all rushed up. Everyone saw Yimo's forgery capabilities, and if they missed this opportunity, they would be idiots. The cultivators near the sea almost all had large amounts of materials. Yimo saw everyone rush up and quickly waved his hand. Everyone line up and prepare your materials. Those who disrupt order and cut in lines will not be attended to. Hearing this, no one dared to cut in lines. Then Yimo began his work, and middle-grade spirit artifacts flew out of his hands like a conveyor belt. Those cultivators who got spirit artifacts were overjoyed and thanked him many times. Using double the price of the materials to get a spirit artifact, no one wouldn't want this. As more and more materials stacked up in Yimo's storage ring, they eventually formed a small mountain. His forgery speed grew faster and faster. At the start, he failed a little on top-grade spirit artifacts, but eventually it became a 100% success rate. 3 days later, Yimo even began to forge extreme-grade spirit artifact, and now he stopped accepting middle-grade spirit artifact orders. This way, the materials he got were higher and higher level. News of this spread out, and more cultivators came. Yimo was by himself and clearly couldn't deal with all these orders, so he hung up a new sign. The sign's meaning was clear because more and more people were coming, and Yimo couldn't deal with them all. Those cultivators with sea maps had priority. Those cultivators who knew where high-level spirit herbs appeared also had priority. The sign's meaning was clear because more and more people were coming, and Yimo couldn't deal with them all. Those cultivators with sea maps had priority. Those cultivators who knew where high-level spirit herbs appeared also had priority. He was looking for fruits such as Sha fruit, truth spirit grass, soul return fruit, immortal curl flower. The most important was immortal curl flower. Those cultivators who saw this list felt their skin began to creep. Other than soul return fruit, they were all level 9 spirit herbs. But in order for Yimo, the forgery master, to help them, these cultivators still went around looking for sea maps and news of these few legendary spirit herbs. In the next few days, Yimo collected another large stack of materials, but also collected a large stack of sea maps. Yimo looked, and they were all fragmented. There was no entire map of the Heartless Sea. As for the spirit herbs he listed, there was not a single piece of news about them. 3 days later, Yimo had a certain success rate for extreme-grade spirit artifacts, but he still had no signs of the immortal curl flower. Yimo had collected a lot of materials. He sighed and was prepared to leave Ling Island and continue moving forward. Staying here was wasting time. Good skills, good capability. An exclamation caught Yimo's notice, and he saw a middle-aged man standing not far away. He was cauldron-filling state level 6 power. This cauldron-filling state cultivator walked up and saluted with his fists. "Friend, I'm the Ling Island's Truth Treasure Alliance manager, Wang Huaning." Yimo quickly got up and saluted with his fists. "I'm Solo Cultivator." Yimo could tell this was a forgery business corporation. Him doing forgery for such a cheap price must have threatened their interests. Luckily, he had enough materials and was ready to leave. Wang Huaning smiled. "Dao Frenji, you forged here for half a month. Do you know what would happen if you did this at Tong Hai Cult's Tong Ling Island or at Songhai Palace's Tsang Hai 3 Islands?" Yimo cursed. If he wasn't trying to find the immortal curl flower for Jiling Qian Bei, he might have left Ling Island already. "Manager Wang, Yimo just came here and didn't know the rules." "Don't worry, I will leave the Ling Island immediately," Yimo explained. Wang Huaning laughed. "Dao Frenji, don't worry, our Ling Island is different than Tong Hai Cult and Songhai Palace. We're a sea cultivator alliance. You have the capability to be forging here. We're not here to kick you away. We just want to invite you over to talk about some business." Although this Wang Huaning didn't seem to have any bad intentions, Yimo didn't plan to go with him. He believed the Truth Treasure Alliance was probably trying to bring him and have him forge for them. He didn't have the time to do that. Yi Mo saluted with his fists again. "Thank you, Manager Wang, but I have other things. I won't go with you. Please understand this." Wang Huaneng seemed to know what Yi Mo thought. "Dao Frenji, don't worry. I'm not here to invite you to forge for our Truth Treasure Alliance. As for the spirit herbs you wrote, if you have interest you can come and have a chat with me." Hearing this, Yi Mo immediately said, "Okay, Manager Wang, please wait a moment." Yi Mo then finished the last top-grade spirit artifact and put his things away. He saluted with his fists to the cultivators lining up. "Friends, thank you for your support. The forgery for this time will end now." Many cultivators made a ruckus, but no matter what, they didn't dare to start trouble with Yi Mo. No one could see through his power, and they knew that Manager Wang was the Truth Treasure Alliance manager and cauldron-filling state middle stage. Which low-level cultivator could offend him? The cultivators asking Yi Mo for forgery were either golden core state or nascent soul state. There were rarely a few hollow spirit state. So despite not being willing, they could only leave. Yi Mo came with Wang Huaneng to a luxurious commercial building. On the front door there were the 3 shiny golden words, Truth Treasure Alliance. It seemed like the words were about to fly away. Wang Huaneng gave him a sign to go in. Yi Mo frowned, but even so, he walked in without hesitation. After Yi Mo walked in, he breathed easy. He was scared that as soon as he came in, his cultivation level would immediately be suppressed like the Sea Treasure Tower, but this wasn't the case. Wang Huaneng brought Yi Mo to the top floor, and after entering, Yi Mo found that there were already 2 cultivators here. 2 female cultivators, one middle-aged, beautiful woman, and another looking to be in her 20s. She was also very beautiful. The middle-aged woman coiled her hair above her head, giving her a rather noble look, and her female cultivator dress fully showcased her beautiful curves. The snowy white neck that was revealed further embellished her beauty. The young girl next to her was tall and had a soft-looking face. Her eyebrows were thin, but Yi Mo was sure they weren't drawn. It was natural. Her skin was also just as snow-white as the middle-aged woman, but she had more youthful look to her. Her hair was very long, but also coiled up. However, it was done casually. Yi Mo could smell a faint aroma as soon as he walked in. What made Yi Mo care the most wasn't their looks, but their power. The middle-aged woman was Disaster Transformation State Level 2, and the young girl was Hollow Spirit State Level 7. But Yi Mo was sure she wasn't old, at most a few years older than Jingingli. Such a young age, and she was Hollow Spirit State Tertiary Stage. "Dao Frenji, this is our Alliance leader, Sister Meng. She's also the Vice Alliance leader of the Sea Cultivator Alliance. Sister Meng wanted to find you this time." Wang Huaneng introduced her, but didn't introduce the young female cultivator. Yi Mo saluted with his fist to the woman and said, "Yi Mo greets Qian Bei." The middle-aged woman smiled to Yi Mo and said, "Master, you please have a seat. Just call me Sister Meng. No need to call me Qian Bei. I've taken a step ahead of you in cultivation, but in forgery, you far surpass me." "Yes, Sister Meng," Yi Mo said, and then sat down. If they were really going to do harm to him, with his body condensation state power, he wouldn't be able to escape regardless whether he came along or not. The Hollow Spirit State girl saw Yi Mo sit down and quietly poured a cup of spirit tea for Yi Mo and Wang Huaneng before standing next to the middle-aged woman. "Master Yi is this young and can already forge extreme-grade spirit artifacts. Your future is indefinite." Sister Meng saw Yi Mo sit down without anxiety, and a glimmer of approval flashed across her eyes. Yi Mo could only salute with his fists and say, "Wan Bei just wanted to get some materials, but I didn't think much about the consequences. Sister Meng, please." Sister Meng waved her hand and smiled. "This is the Sea Cultivator Alliance. Even if you forge here for a year, it's your freedom. Don't worry, you can reach body condensation state at this age, and also have this level of forgery. Clearly, you're a prodigy amongst prodigies. Yi Mo believed that if the Truth Treasure Alliance didn't want him to forge for them, then they probably wanted his forgery means. But Yi Mo didn't mind. He was still perfecting his means, and it all came from the 3 birth chance simulations. It was a new system, but it was far from complete now, so he didn't mind. However, Sister Meng said, I saw your extreme grade spirit artifact. The forgery means aren't good, but the formation on it is also top grade. If I'm not wrong, you're at least a level 6 formation great master, right? Hearing this, Yi Mo realized that they called him over not because of his forgery skills, but his formation skills. Sister Meng continued to look at Yi Mo with approval and exclaimed, You're this young and body condensation state tertiary stage, but also a great master in forgery and formations. How many prodigies are there in the world? Yi Mo thought to himself, I'm a level 8 formation grand master. Okay, I've only just begun playing with forgery. Yi Mo didn't know what the middle-aged woman meant, so he didn't speak. Yi Mo didn't know what the middle-aged woman meant, so he didn't speak. After she applauded Yi Mo, she said, I heard you requested for news of a few level 9 spirit herbs. Yi Mo replied, Yes, Wanbei's Qianbei needs a mortal crow flower. I know this sort of spirit herb only occurs in legends, but I still want to ask around. Even if I can't find it, I know I tried. The woman smiled and didn't jeer at Yi Mo overestimating himself. Immortal curl flower is indeed only in legends. No one has ever found it. I do have news about it, but it's probably fake. Yi Mo's heart skipped. He quickly got up and bowed to the woman. Please tell me, Sister Meng, if there's anything you need me to do, I will do my best. He knew why this woman only spoke halfway. She was clearly waiting for him to ask. But he couldn't help it. It didn't matter if he suffered a little loss for Jiling Qianbei. The woman nodded and asked Yi Mo, Are you a level 6 formation great master? Yi Mo was already level 8 formation grand master, and in a few years he might even reach level 9 formation grand master. But Yi Mo knew he didn't need to say it, as level 6 formation great master was clearly enough. That woman thought he was level 6 formation great master, and still called him over. Yi Mo felt the more he could hide the better. So he nodded, I'm rather experienced in level 6 formations. The woman didn't notice Yi Mo's play on words, and believed Yi Mo admitted he was a level 6 formation great master. So she immediately said happily, It seems that our Sea Cultivator Alliance's luck is good. Then she asked, You have no sea chi on you at all? You must not be from Heartless Sea. Your bones are rather immature, and you're very lively. You must not be older than 100. You're probably even only 30 to 40. An ordinary cultivator who can reach body condensation state tertiary stage at this age and be a great master in both formation and forgery. I, Meng Hanan, have never seen this before. Yi Mo was shook. This woman was too powerful. She could even tell his age. The young girl behind her also looked at Yi Mo in shock. She thought that Yi Mo would be nearly 100 if not older, but her master said he was only 30 to 40. How was this possible? Seeing Yi Mo nodded, she said happily, Since you came here, you probably already know the 3 powers of the Heartless Sea Outer Sea. Yi Mo nodded. The woman continued, The 3 powers are rather collaborative, but that's only when the beast tide comes. The borders of Heartless Sea is big, but the concentration of the top cultivation resources are at a huge island. That island is called Fengchu Island. It has tens of thousands of kilometers of area and has an abundance of high-level spirit herb. This island is the place where the 3 powers gather their high-level spirit herbs, but it can only be entered once every 50 years. The cultivators who can go in are only foundation establishment state, and the spots are limited. Meng Hanan looked at Yi Mo and said, Master Yi, you probably know what I mean now. If we have more people going in, then we gather more spirit herbs, but if we have less, then there are less spirit herbs. Yi Mo asked in confusion. Then just send the same number of people as the three powers. Meng Hanan sighed. If it's split like that, we see Cultivator Alliance would agree the most that Feng Chu Island has a huge formation protecting it. It's probably left behind by ancient cultivators. Every 50 years, Foundation Establishment State cultivators can stay in there for a month. At most, 100 cultivators can go in. So if everyone sends in 33, there's still one extra. Just for that one extra, no one is willing to give it up. Yi Mo was speechless. Just take turns then. Meng Hanan explained that Tong Hai cult leader Yong Lani believed Tong Hai cult is the strongest, so they should have one extra spot. We and the Tsang Hai Palace didn't agree, so eventually we've decided on having a tournament to decide how many people goes in. The first has 50 spots, second has 30, and third has 20 spots. Yi Mo realized and looked at her. Sister Meng, you want me to go to the tournament for C Cultivator Alliance? Meng Hanan nodded. Yes, our C Cultivator Alliance has become last 3 times in a row. We've been getting the least amount of spirit herbs. Even prodigy cultivators need high-level spirit herbs to be produced. Because we have been getting the least spirit herbs, our power has been sliding down. Yi Mo was thinking that according to what Meng Hanan said, that island would even have level 8 spirit herbs. This was rather substantial. Even the Truth Fall Palace didn't have level 8 spirit herbs. Meng Hanan smiled. With Master Ye's body condensation state, tertiary stage power, and formation great master skills, if you can get second in the tournament for us, we would have 10 extra spots. I can promise you a koan-filling pill. Yi Mo didn't care about a koan-filling pill at all. He was a level 7 pill king. He already had the spirit herbs for koan-filling pills. Although it was said to be free pill concoction after the pill concoction tournament at Pill City, the big secs weren't stupid enough to really let a level 7 pill king concoct free for them. But Yi Mo still said, "Thank you, Sister Meng." Meng Hanan saw that Yi Mo seemed very calm after hearing the koan-filling pill and was a little surprised. Usually, a body condensation state tertiary stage would be overjoyed hearing about this pill. She didn't think much and said, "This is a tournament between cultivators within 100 years old. The place is a misty island next to the Feng Chu Island called Chu 18 Discs. It has nothing to do with the Feng Chu Island. The island is always hidden in the mist and would only show when the Feng Chu Island is about to show. It also has many formations that are set by ancient cultivators. Each disc's formation level is different. The higher the number, the higher level the formation. Cultivators who go in the disc can be easily killed. If they're not careful, those lucky would be teleported out." Yi Mo thought of the Pill City Pill King 12 steps. Why did this sound so familiar? Meng Hanan suddenly asked, "You probably came from South P State. You must have heard of the Pill King 12 steps." Yi Mo was shook. He thought Meng Hanan was reading his mind. But when he looked at her, he realized that wasn't the case. He breathed easy and nodded. "Sister Meng, I came from South P State. I've heard of the 12 Pill King steps." Meng Hanan nodded. It's said that the 12 Pill King steps was a low-grade immortal artifact made by an ancient immortal forger based on the Chu 18 discs. What? Yi Mo was shook. He had always thought the 12 Pill King steps was a formation set up by a powerful being for the Pill King tournament. Meng Hanan smiled. Probably even a lot of people in Pill City don't know. There's nothing strange about it. Many people thought Chu 18 discs is an immortal artifact, but it's indeed an island. Yi Mo asked, "Sister Meng, you want me to represent the C Cultivator Alliance to compete there?" Meng Hanan said apologetically, "Yes, those cultivators older than 100 years would be teleported away by the 18 discs, sometimes even killed. No matter how strong you are, you can only go in if you're younger than 100 years. You're young enough and you're a formation master. You should be able to get to the 9th disc. If you get there, we can get 2nd place for sure. Although your power isn't very high amongst the contestants, your formation skills can cover for that. What? Yemo was shook. He was body condensation state level 7. Were there people at body condensation state level 8 within 100 years? In the South Peace state, even body condensation state within 100 years was extremely rare, much less body condensation state tertiary stage. Meng Hanan saw Yemo's face and immediately knew what he thought. She said, "The Chu 18 discs looks like huge round discs. After every disc, the formation grows more complicated. It's said that the last disc is a peak that soars into the clouds. Each time we have a tournament, each power can send 10 people. Whoever gets the farthest is the first. If 2 powers both get on the same disc, then it's up to the amount of people behind." Meng Hanan saw Yemo's face and immediately knew what he thought. She said, "The Chu 18 discs looks like huge round discs. After every disc, the formation grows more complicated. It's said that the last disc is a peak that soars into the clouds. Each time we have a tournament, each power can send 10 people. Whoever gets the farthest is the first. If 2 powers both get on the same disc, then it's up to the amount of people behind." Then Meng Hanan looked at Yemo apologetically. Each time, there are cauldron-filling state cultivators amongst the contestants, usually 3 on each side. This time, Yemo couldn't hold it and got up. He looked at Meng Hanan in disbelief. "Sister Meng, there are cauldron-filling state cultivators within 100 years of age in this place? There are so many too? This is really unbelievable." The girl behind Meng Hanan finally couldn't hold it anymore and burst into laughter. Yemo was too emotional. In a cultivation level as high as South Peace State, 100-year-old body condensation states were extremely rare, and yet in the outer sea of Heartless Sea, there were this many cauldron-filling state cultivators within 100 years. Was the difference really this huge? If there were really such prodigies, the South Peace State 9-star sex would have long been here already. These people were countless times stronger than Yuan, Guanan, and Tian Alfing. Meng Hanan smiled. "Don't worry, Master Yi, let me explain. Although we're the 3 biggest powers here, there are also some beast cultivators. Some don't like battle and does business with humans. As time went on, some beast cultivators who can morph into humans married human cultivators. This way, a few of their offspring would be extremely talented. These people would only need to be fed all sorts of spirit herbs and pills for their cultivation speed to be 10 times faster than ordinary cultivators." Yemo still looked at her suspiciously. If that was the case, then this world would be dominated by these half-bloods. But Meng Hanan continued, "This type of cultivators use up an astounding amount of spirit herbs. Even a sect would be able to raise only a few, and there's one problem. These cultivators would find it very hard to progress after cauldron-filling state peak stage. Less than 1% reach disaster transformation state. As for truth realization state, there's not a single one." Yemo breathed easy, thinking this was normal. Meng Hanan smiled. "Master, you don't worry. Each power is only allowed to bring out 3 of such cultivators. The rest are human cultivators like you. There's indeed danger going into the competition. And if you don't want to go, I won't force you. If you are willing to go, I will tell you where the immortal curl flower is said to have appeared and give you a coin-filling pill after the match." Hearing this, Yemo realized that the wavy-haired girl he met before was probably a half-blood. "Yes, I agree." Yemo nodded without hesitation. Then he thought of the wavy-haired girl. She was clearly a member of the Big 3. What if he went to the tournament and was seen by her? Would she look for trouble? He had to speak about this first. Plus, with his experience, it was clear that arrogant girl would look for his trouble. Seeing Yemo agree, Meng Hanan immediately said happily, "There's about a week before the tournament. If you have any questions, you can ask me." Yemo said straight up, "I do have a few questions. When I came to the Ling Island, I offended this girl. I don't know which power she's from. If she comes looking for trouble, please help me, Sister Meng. She probably has a powerful background. Meng Hanan frowned. Can you be more specific? What features does that girl have? Yi Mo nodded. He had a deep impression of that girl and said, she's very arrogant. Her skin is very white. Her hair is wavy. Her chest is very big. Yi Mo didn't think much before he said this, but after saying it, he immediately realized his words weren't appropriate. There were two women in front of him. People might think he was lustful, as the first thing he noticed was someone's chest. But Yi Mo knew he really couldn't be blamed. That girl's chest was really too huge. As soon as Yi Mo said this, that quiet girl looked down, and her face blushed. Yi Mo felt awkward, but Meng Hanan smiled. I think I know who she is. Does she have a chariot flying magic artifact? Yi Mo patted his head with Meng Hanan's reminder. He immediately changed the way he spoke. Yes, she also had 2 bodyguards. She chased me for a long time when I stopped and asked her. She wanted to rob my flying magic artifact. In order to break free, I could only damage her flying chariot. Meng Hanan heard this and looked at Yi Mo in shock. That young girl is the daughter of the Tong high cult leader Yong Yuer. Her mother is a beast cultivator, but not from the Heartless Sea. Her 2 bodyguards are both cauldron-filling state. You could escape from them? Meng Hanan was shocked, but still a little dubious. Yi Mo immediately said, I was no match for them, but I used their arrogance and broke their chariot with some means. Meng Hanan's eyes flashed with a sliver of worry, and she sighed, Even so, you're quite amazing, but don't worry. You didn't do anything wrong, no matter how much Yong Lanyi is protective of his daughter. He won't do anything to you in the tournament. Yi Mo breathed easy hearing this. That young girl was clearly not a good person. He didn't want to fight with that stubborn and selfish princesses. Seeing Meng Hanan agree, Yi Mo asked again, I also want to ask, can you tell me the location of the immortal curl flower now? Meng Hanan smiled. I was going to tell you even if you didn't ask. Then she took out a jade slip. This is a fragmented map of a sea region. I once went there with Marshal Brother Wang, but this is in the depth of the Heartless Sea. I almost died there. This map marks the immortal curl flower, but I don't know how long this map has been around for. Even if there was an immortal curl flower, it's probably gone. This is the only thing I have. If Yi Mo quickly took the jade slip and said, Thank you, Sister Meng. He had 0 leads on the immortal curl flower, but now there was finally something. Meng Hanan nodded, but pointed at the girl behind her. This is my disciple Meng Qi. She's going to the tournament as well. She doesn't know much about formations. So another reason I'm asking you to go is also to take care of her a little. Yi Mo asked confusedly. Then why not just not go? Meng Hanan smiled. You might not really understand the Chu 18 discs. It's dangerous, but it can improve cultivators' mental state. Those who go usually have reduced heart demons. It can also cleanse the spirit sense, making you reach higher levels faster. Hearing this, Yi Mo was immediately excited. What he cared about most was spirit sense. If his spirit sense was purified, would his purple eye souls ever be stronger? Meng Hanan said, so if you go there too, it would benefit you as well. Are you unable to leave during the tournament? Yi Mo asked again. Meng Hanan seemed to know what Yi Mo thought. Don't worry, since I promised to not let Yong Yuer touch you, I can protect you. Once you enter the Chu 18 discs, you can only come if you get killed or fail, or wait 18 days when the place closes. Oh, Yi Mo said disappointedly. He was indeed worried about Yong Yuer. Meng Hanan said it nicely, but he had nothing to do with the Sea Cultivator Alliance. They were just doing a deal. Plus, the cult leader of Tong High Cult was Truth Realization State Peak Stage, the strongest person in the Outer Sea. Meanwhile, Meng Hanan was only Disaster Transformation State, Primary Stage. The difference was huge. I heard that if you reach the top of the last disc, you can leave whenever you want. But from the ancient times till now, No one seems to have been able to reach there. The best the three powers have accomplished was the 12th disc, Menghanan said. After bidding Menghanan farewell, Yi Mo could only be arranged to stay at Truth Treasure Alliance's place. He was still digesting the news Menghanan gave him. The 12-pill King Steps was just an immortal artifact. He didn't expect cultivators from the cultivation realm could forge immortal artifacts. How powerful must that forgery master be? After bidding Menghanan farewell, Yi Mo could only be arranged to stay at Truth Treasure Alliance's place. He was still digesting the news Menghanan gave him. The 12-pill King Steps was just an immortal artifact. He didn't expect cultivators from the cultivation realm could forge immortal artifacts. How powerful must that forgery master be? But he wasn't bad either. In such a short time, he could already forge extreme grade spirit artifacts. The only concern was that he didn't really trust Menghanan's promise. Yong Lani won't do anything to you in the tournament. What about afterwards? It was not that he didn't trust this woman's character, but he didn't trust her strength. In the cultivation realm, power was everything. If that obnoxious girl wanted trouble with him, then as long as the alliance leader of the Sea Cultivator Alliance agrees, Menghanan wouldn't be able to protect him for sure. The reason Menghanan gave the jade slip to Yi Mo straight away was that she wasn't afraid Yi Mo would run off. Yi Mo never thought of running anyway. Plus, he knew he wouldn't be able to run away even if he wanted to. That's why he asked Menghanan if he could leave in Chu 18 discs. Menghanan said that no one has ever reached the top of the 18 discs, and the most anyone has ever reached was 12. He wouldn't be teleported out unless he reached the 18th disc, but could he reach the top? If he could, he wouldn't let Menghanan be responsible for his safety. His greatest assurance was his level 8 formation skills. No one is allowed to know this. He believed that even if there would be a level 8 formation grandmaster within 100 years, it would be extremely rare. Menghanan said that formation skills were more important than power in the Chu 18 discs. Perhaps he could use his formation skills to reach the 18th disc. Then he would be able to leave whenever he wanted. Thinking about this, Yi Mo felt a little reassured. Just when he wanted to look at the jade slip about Immortal Curlflower, his spirit sense noticed someone at the door. It was that hollow spirit state girl, Meng Qi. Yi Mo opened the restriction before she knocked and saluted with his fists. "Martial Sister Meng, do you have any business with me?" Meng Qi also bowed to Yi Mo and said uneasily, "Meng Qi greets Martial Brother Yi. I'll be relying on your help for the Chu 18 discs later." Her voice was soft like a bird singing. Yi Mo couldn't help think. Both her and the Yongyuer who stopped him were extremely beautiful. But why was the difference this huge? Yi Mo smiled and put away the jade slip. "I'll need to thank Sister Meng for helping me get the Immortal Curlflower's location." Meng Qi smiled. She looked at the restriction on the door, but didn't speak. Yi Mo thought, and immediately shut the restriction before asking, "Martial Sister Meng, do you need to say something? Come in and have a seat first." Meng Qi saw this and sighed. "Martial Brother Yi, if you offended Yongyuer, then I suggest you not to participate in the Chu 18 discs. She won't let you go. It's useless even if my master helps. The cult lord of Tong high cult adores Yongyuer extremely. He won't do anything to you before the competition, but he will look for your trouble after it, and even kill you for sure. Sea Cultivator Alliance Martial Uncle Wang won't get on Yong Lanyi's bad side for you. Plus, you damaged Yongyuer's favorite flying cart." Yi Mo's heart sunk. He knew that Yongyuer was not easy to deal with, but he didn't understand why Menghanan used him, and Meng Qi came to tell him this. He didn't know Meng Qi at all. Meng Qi continued. "A foreign cauldron-filling state cultivator offended Yongyuer, but to be honest, he just called her spoiled. And then in the end, the cultivator fled to the Tsang High 3 Islands, but he was still caught by the cult leader, and even his soul was burned in the end." Yi Mo took a cold breath in. This was too cruel, and that cultivator only called her spoiled. What was she going to do to him for damaging her chariot? Why are you helping me? Emo asked. Because I have a way for you to escape, and if you want I can help you. But there's one condition, Meng Qi said. Tell me about your condition, Emo said. Meng Qi suddenly waved her hand and set up a few more restrictions, but they were too low level. Emo smiled. Don't worry, no one will know about what's happening in here. Don't forget, I'm a formation master. Hearing this, Meng Qi blushed. She soon recovered and bit her lips before saying, I'm not from Luo Yu continent nor Ling Island. 10 years ago, I came to a barren island in the Heartless Sea, and my master passed by and saved me. In order to thank her, I stayed with her. Time went on, and I got used to here, so I didn't think of leaving. Hearing this, Emo wasn't too shocked. He came from Earth too. She said she didn't leave, meaning that she had a way to leave. Meng Qi was not too used to Emo's unsurprised reaction, but she recovered quickly and continued. But last year, the Tong Hai Sect's young master Yong Wuzi came to Ling Island and saw me. He immediately proposed to me with my master and alliance leader Wang. My master had no ability to reject, and the alliance leader didn't say anything. Emo finally asked with surprise, Yong Yuer has a brother? If she was already this bad, wouldn't her brother be worse? Meng Qi said pitifully, You can tell who that Yong Wuzi is from his sister. He's a demon. He raped his father's concubine, but after his father knew, not only did he not blame him, he gave his concubine to him instead. Yet he said it wasn't exciting anymore and killed her. Emo was dumbfounded. What was this? There's a space-breaking rune hidden in my Dantian, but I don't have an opportunity to activate it. It must be activated in a place with very dense spirit chi. Then I can go back to where I came from. I was planning to find this place when my power was high enough, but I can't wait till that moment. After the Chu 18 discs, I will be sent to the Tong Hai Sect. Emo fell silent, and seeing this, Meng Qi said desperately, I can use my identity to take you out of the formation on the island. Emo suddenly asked, How you know I can take you to run away? I'm only body condensation state power. How many powerful beings are on Ling Island? If that really works, you can do it yourself and run. Meng Qi stared at Emo and said, I can't run very far, but you're different. You have an extreme grade cultivation artifact, a flying magic artifact. Without it, there's no way Yong Yuer's flying cart couldn't chase up to you. Emo was shook. Her mind was so calculated. Emo nodded. Martial Sister Meng, you're very meticulous, but I'm sure you've thought things too simply. I don't need to try to know. You won't be able to take me out of the island. Even you won't be able to leave the island at all. If you don't believe me, you can try. Even if you don't watch me, that Wang Song would. I don't suggest you try, because it would make things worse for you. Huh? Meng Qi heard this and dazed for a moment before slumping down. She knew this, but just didn't want to face reality. Emo sneered and continued, Even coming here, you're probably being watched. Emo sneered and continued, Even coming here, you're probably being watched. Meng Qi had calmed down. She knew Emo was saying the truth. She got up and her face recovered, but just seemed more numb. Thank you, Martial Brother Yi, for helping me realize this. Meng Qi will be leaving, Meng Qi said dejectedly. Emo smiled and waved his hand. How far from the Chu 18 discs would the cultivator older than 100 years be affected? Meng Qi didn't know what this meant, but she still replied, The 18 discs are in the center of the island. I heard that during every tournament, the masters of the three powers would be at the border of the island. That's tens of kilometers from the outermost disc. If they get closer, they would be affected. They stand at the border of the island because there's a huge white tablet there that can record the progress of the tournament. Can the cultivator's spirit sense go inside the Chu 18 discs? Emo asked. This was the most important part to his plan. If the 18 discs can't barricade spirit, since then, he wouldn't be able to get away. Meng Qi looked at Yi Mo in confusion. No, those cultivators who go into the 18 discs would disappear from the spirit sense of the people outside. If the contestant passes the first disc, there would be a stone tablet at the entrance to the second disc. You just have to mark your name on there. And then the huge white stone tablet at the border of the island would show your name and your progress. Yi Mo rejoiced and asked, then what if I don't mark my name? Or if some contestant dies during the competition? Meng Qi immediately said, the stone tablet won't record your progress if you don't mark your name, but that doesn't affect the contestants. Once you get teleported out, your name would turn blue. If you die, your name would turn red, and it would stop at the disc you were before you died. Yi Mo breathed easy. This was good then. Now, he only needed to worry Abbott if he could reach the top. Yi Mo nodded. Don't worry. Wait till the day of the competition. I might have a way to help you. Really? Meng Qi's eyes lit up immediately. Yi Mo smiled. I'm not confident, but you know my predicament. It's not much different from yours. Go back first. It's not good for you to stay here too long, Yi Mo said to her. If people saw him with Meng Qi for too long, they might start watching him too. Meng Qi regained her composure after knowing the possibility of escape, so she bowed to Yi Mo and quickly left Yi Mo's place. In the next few days, Yi Mo didn't go out. He started to study formations in his room. He was sure that the formations in the Chu 18 discs wouldn't be simple and would be over level 8 formations, but he could only hope they weren't beyond level 9 formations. Yi Mo knew he wasn't able to improve his formation skills very much in a few days, but it would still help a little. 6 days passed quickly, and no one came to find Yi Mo during this time, not even Meng Qi. On the last day, Yi Mo suddenly thought of something that could happen and immediately broke into a cold sweat. Without hesitation, he took out an empty storage ring and inscribed more than 10 explosion formations on it before putting a few top-grade restrictions, and then putting it on his finger. Then he breathed easy. The second day, Yi Mo just opened his door, and Wang Huaning came. Yi Mo knew it was the time for the competition, so he saluted with his fists. Manager Wang, is it almost time for the competition? Wang Huaning nodded. Yes. Marshal brother, Yi, please come with me. Yi Mo nodded and smiled. Okay, please lead the way, Marshal brother Wang. Wang Huaning nodded and said as they walked, Marshal brother Yi, I really admire your forgery skills. Although I can also forge low-grade cultivation artifacts, I feel your forgery means are much stronger than mine. Yi Mo smiled. He didn't know what this guy meant, so he said humbly, You're too polite, Marshal brother Wang. Wang Huaning said seriously, I'm not being polite. I truly admire your forgery skills. I didn't dare to disturb Marshal brother Yi these few days due to Sister Meng's orders, but after the tournament, we must have some discussions. Yi Mo laughed. Easy, easy. He didn't believe at all that Wang Huaning didn't know how powerful Yong Yuer was. If he knew, and he still said this, it meant he was trying to keep him here. Yi Mo didn't mind. He just needed Meng Henan to be able to send him safely into the Chu 18 discs. With Yong Yuer's attitude, she would definitely look for trouble inside the Chu 18 disc islands. There was no way she wouldn't go to an event like this. Yi Mo and Wang Huaning soon came to the square of the Sea Cultivator Alliance. There was a huge teleportation formation at the border. It was filled with cultivators. Yi Mo just looked casually and knew there were at least 3 truth realization state cultivators and nearly 10 disaster transformation state cultivators. This was stronger than an ordinary 9-star sect. This was just their surface power as well. Yi Mo saw Meng Henan and Meng Qi immediately. Meng Qi was standing quietly next to Meng Henan just like at the start. Meng Henan immediately smiled to Yi Mo and said to a middle-aged man next to her, This is the cultivator I recommended. He's Yi Mo. He's very good. He's not old, but he's already body condensation state, tertiary stage, and a level 6 formation Great Master. The male cultivator nodded and looked at Yi Mo, making Yi Mo feel uncomfortable. Meng Hanan then waved to Yi Mo. Yi Mo, this is our Sea Cultivator Alliance's alliance leader. Wang Tsang, come here. Wang Tsang had a long face. His chin was sunken, but his power was astounding. Yi Mo could tell this guy was a truth realization state level 7 cultivator. After Yi Mo greeted him, Wang Tsang nodded. Not bad, not bad. You're already a level 6 formation Great Master at this age. Your forgery is also this good. Your future is boundless. Do well, and our Sea Cultivator Alliance won't mistreat you. Yi Mo quickly saluted with his fists. Thank you, Alliance Leader Wang. Then, Wang Tsang said to the rest of the people, we've been last 3 times in a row. I hope the people you have chosen won't disappoint me again. Then, he looked at the 8 cultivators at the teleportation formation. We'll be relying on you guys this time, as long as you can get a better spot than last time. Everyone can make a request. Even if you want a top-grade cultivation artifact, I can get one for you. Other than this, the participants will be heavily supported by our Sea Cultivator Alliance. Yes, Alliance Leader, we will try our best, they said together. Great. Wang Nag nodded and waved his hand. Go to Chu 18 discs now. Yi Mo followed behind Meng Hanan and went into the teleportation formation. This teleportation formation was huge, and 100 people didn't seem squished. As the spirit stones were embedded into the teleportation formation ring, the teleportation formation lit up with white light, and the people were teleported away. Yi Mo thought there would only be 100 or so people in the teleportation formation, and so there would be at most 500 people at the 18 discs, but when he arrived, he knew how wrong he was. This place was filled with cultivators, about 20,000 of them. Wang Huaning saw this and explained, those cultivators spectating arrived here more than 10 days ago. It's no wonder that there are so many here. But Yi Mo didn't have the mood to reply to Wang Huaning as he saw that big-chested, wavy-haired Yong Yuer, and she noticed him immediately as well. Chapter 1191. I will be back. Chapter 1191. I will be back. Yong Yuer was dazed the moment she saw Yi Mo, but she immediately exploded and pointed her finger at Yi Mo, shrieking, It's you! You dare to come here? I'm going to kill him! Kill him! Her face was already turned red, and her big balloons shook up and down, showing how agitated she was. Her look was very seductive, but no male cultivator dared to look at her chest. Yuer, what's going on? A tall but soft-looking man next her asked worriedly. Yong Yuer took in breath and pointed at Yi Mo. He's that bastard that hacked my chariot. If I didn't move away fast, he would have hacked me. I'm going to kill this bastard. His storage ring will be compensation. That tall yet soft-looking man's face sunk immediately and stared at Yi Mo coldly. A mere body condensation state insect dares to touch my daughter. You're asking to die. The cultivators around felt an intense killing intent. Yi Mo's heart sunk. This man was truth realization state peak stage, and his killing intent was much stronger than Lu Wuhu's. Clearly, he was Yong Yuer's father, Tong High Sex Leader. Seeing his fury, Yi Mo suspected whether he would even get the chance of going into the Chu 18 discs. Meng Qi was more worried than Yi Mo and looked at her master, desperately hoping she would say something. Luckily, Meng Hanan didn't disappoint her. Before Yong Lani attacked, she bowed to him and said, Hanan, greet cult leader Yong. Yi Mo will be representing us for the tournament. If he didn't recognize Princess Yuer before and offended her, Hanan will be apologizing for him. Please forgive him this time on account of the Sea Cultivator Alliance. Yong Lani heard this, and his face went cold while sneering. I will kill him for sure, even if he's the overlord of the Heartless Sea for offending my daughter. If you dare to stop me, then don't blame me. Yi Mo's heart sunk again. He already tried to underestimate Meng Hanan, but he still overestimated her. Martial brother Wang. Meng Hanan looked at Wang Tsang. Wang Tsang looked coldly at Yi Mo and was about to speak. His eyes were showing that he wanted to kill Yi Mo himself. There was nothing about Yi Mo's boundless future and how the Sea Cultivator Alliance won't mistreat him. Yi Mo didn't need to wait for Wang Tsang to say something to know that he wasn't going to help for him. He might even say that he wasn't from the Sea Cultivator Alliance. Before Wang Tsang said anything, Yi Mo got up and saluted with his fist to Yong Lani. Cult leader Yong. Before, it was because Wan Bei didn't know it was Yuera Princess, so I offended her. But this time, I'm representing the Sea Cultivator Alliance. If you kill me in front of all these people, the Sea Cultivator Alliance would have no face at all. Who would dare to come to the Sea Cultivator Alliance? Ha ha! Yong Lani laughed, but his eyes were cold. I'm going to kill you now. So what? This made Wang Tsang's face look bad, but he still didn't say anything. Yi Mo said again, It's right that cult leader wants me dead because I offended Princess Yuer, but I'm someone with gratitude. Sea Cultivator Alliance leader. Wang gave me a lot of help. I want to help him compete in this tournament first. After the tournament, you can do whatever you like. Wang Tsang's face was cold, but he was furious. He never even saw Yi Mo before today. Yet this guy said he owed him in front of so many people. Yi Mo came to the tournament to pay his gratitude, and if he didn't anything, then it would indeed be detrimental to the Sea Cultivator Alliance. But he didn't want any trouble with Yong Lani over Yi Mo, this insect. Humph, I'm going to rip your tendons and burn your soul. You think you can escape by going to the tournament? I'll tell you now, if you fail you will be teleported out immediately. But I want you dead now, Yong Yuer said. Yi Mo said calmly, That's fine. As long as I pay back Alliance Leader Wang's great help, you can do whatever you want of me. Yi Mo's words already made the cultivators around here discuss. Quietly, Wang Tsang knew he had to speak, so he saluted with his fist to Yong Lani. Sigh, Brother Yong, I saw wrong. I didn't expect I helped someone like this. I wouldn't have helped him if I knew earlier. Since this guy offended Princess Yuer, he deserves to die. Brother Yong, you can do whatever you want. I won't mind. Yi Mo heard this, and his heart went even colder. He didn't expect this Wang Tsang was this cowardly. He already said all that, and yet Wang Tsang still wants to suck up to Yong Lani. Give me your storage ring first. Yong Yuer glared at Yi Mo. Yi Mo heard this, and rejoiced he gave his storage ring over immediately and said, I offended Princess Yuer. I never planned to continue living. Please take me storage ring. Then he saluted to Yong Lani. If cult leader doesn't believe me, you can kill me now. Yi Mo then saluted with his fist to Wang Tsang. Alliance leader Wang, no matter what, my gratitude to you won't change. If cult leader Yong wants to kill me now, please don't help me. Although it's a shame I won't be able to compete for the Sea Cultivator Alliance, I'm still forever grateful to you. Wang Tsang's face looked worse. Clearly Yi Mo wanted him to lose face in front of the Sea Cultivator Alliance. Even so, he still didn't help Yi Mo at all. But Yi Mo was thinking about how he would escape if Yong Lani really attacked. The 5-element mobility was powerful, but would he have a chance with this truth realization state cultivator like Yong Lani? But there was no way he was just going to let them kill him. Even if he was going to die, he would bring one with him. Yi Mo felt helpless again. It was indeed not reliable to rely on someone else. Meng Hanan said things nicely, but she wasn't able to help at all. Yong Lani saw that Yong Yuer was just thinking about how to open Yi Mo's storage ring and scanned the bleak-faced Wang Tsang before saying, You won't have a way to escape anyways. No matter how much you gloat, you just want to live a little longer. I'll give Alliance leader Wang some face today and let you live a little longer. Father, he won't have a while. Yong Yuer looked up with her pretty face and said to a huge man nearly 2 meters tall, Brother, I'll leave it to you. You won't fail to catch a guy without a storage ring, right? The man sneered. Sister, don't worry, I can crush trash like him with a finger. Yi Mo noticed this man was cauldron filling state level 3, and his lips were extremely thick, and his face was dark. So this was Yong Wuzi. No wonder Meng Qi was that scared. This guy was clearly not someone good. He really wondered how the pretty-faced Yong Lani gave birth to this horrifying guy. Meng Qi breathed easy hearing that Yi Mo would be spared for now. But then her heart skipped again. She didn't expect Yong Wuzi to be participating in the Chu 18 discs. She guessed that Yi Mo's escape way might have something to do with the Chu 18 discs, but with Yong Wuzi, they might not even be able to survive inside. Chu 18 discs formation has opened. All contestants please enter the first disc, the announcer said. Yi Mo was excited. As long as he went in the Chu 18 discs, he would have a way to get away. If he wasn't able to get to the 18th disc, he would go in the Golden Page world. As for Meng Qi, if he couldn't help himself, how could he help her? He would at most kill Yong Wuzi for her. Yi Mo walked in with a lowered head. Everyone probably thought he was sighing about his miserable fate. Meng Hanan seemed to know she owed Yi Mo and didn't say anything. Her face was full of guilt. Yong Wuzi snarled at Yi Mo. You will soon know you shouldn't have come inside. You will regret. Then Yong Wuzi walked in. Yi Mo stood at the door and turned back before saying to Yong Lani, Cult leader Yong, I will be back. Chapter 1192, Taking on Cauldron Filling State. Chapter 1192, Taking on Cauldron Filling State. Everyone thought Yi Mo was sucking up to Yong Lani. Even Yong Lani himself believed so too, but he sneered in contempt. No matter how much Yi Mo sucked up to him, he would kill Yi Mo. No one could offend his daughter. He probably wouldn't even have the chance to kill Yi Mo himself. Only his essence spirit would come out of the Chu 18 discs. No one understood what Yi Mo meant except for himself. He wasn't going to come back now. He would come back to kill Yong Lani, come back to kill Yong Yuer. And as for Yong Wuzi, he wasn't going to let him leave the Chu 18 discs. When he was body condensation state middle stage, he could take on cauldron filling state level 2. Now that he was body condensation state tertiary stage, how could he be scared of a Yong Wuzi? After Yi Mo followed the 29 people into the 18 discs, he immediately felt the surroundings go dark. When he released his spirit sense out, he couldn't see anyone outside anymore. There was soft, watery grass under his feet. Yi Mo was shocked. This restriction was too powerful. This formation was too powerful. It was just one step, but the difference was huge. Ha ha! There was a maniacal laughter. But soon, people knew why there was laughter. It was Yong Wuzi. He stared at Yi Mo, clearly intending to kill him. Yi Mo stared at him and didn't talk. The other people saw this and quickly left as though not wanting to relate to Yi Mo. Even the Sea Cultivator Alliance's cultivators didn't dare to stay with Yi Mo. Some cultivators who wanted to invite Meng Qi to join them quickly gave up on the idea, seeing the ferocious-looking Yong Wuzi. After Yong Wuzi finished laughing, his face formed a seemingly soft look that appeared ferocious to others. Just when Yi Mo was wondering why this guy made this disgusting face, Yong Wuzi said to Meng Qi, Qi, let's form a team. I will take you to the 9th disc for sure. Meng Qi's eyes showed disgust. She didn't even look at Yong Wuzi as she walked up to Yi Mo and said, I will be going with Martial Brother Yi. You can group with your Tong high-sex people. I have nothing to do with you, not before nor in the future. Ha, Martial Brother Yi. You will soon find that you have no Martial Brother Yi. Yong Wuzi glared at the cultivators who still hadn't left. They left quickly without daring to say a thing. Meng Qi released a flying sword, and then another extreme grade spirit artifact longsword, giving the sword to Yi Mo. Take this first. Even if you're no match, we can stab him a few times. She clearly thought Yi Mo had no storage ring, and thus no magic artifact. Yi Mo waved his hand. Stay back. Leave this animal to me. Yi Mo took a step forward, and a huge cauldron appeared before his head. At the same time, Zisu was also released. How do you still have this cauldron? Wasn't your storage ring taken away? Yong Wuzi clearly knew of the octagonal cauldron, meaning that Yong Yue already told him about it. He also heard that Yi Mo could take on cauldron filling state level 2 Air Wu and have the advantage. He didn't believe it at the time. How could a body condensation state fight a cauldron filling state cultivator? Body condensation state cultivators' cultivation essence had just solidified. They were a far cry from cauldron filling state cultivators who knew a little about domains. Yong Wuzi grew calm and said, "Even if your magic artifacts are here, I can kill you easily." Yi Mo didn't waste time talking at all. He was going to kill Yong Wuzi for sure. Humph! Yong Wuzi sneered and a huge spiked club was released. It immediately shot out tens of dark rays while expanding. But soon the dark rays and the club stopped expanding. You have domain. How is that possible? Yong Wuzi was shook. Once a cultivator reached hollow spirit state, he would have essence spirit, and his spirit sense would grow many folds. Once cultivator reached body condensation state, his cultivation essence would solidify, and thus his cultivation essence would also grow many folds. Compared to hollow spirit state, this was many more times stronger. Some prodigies would even learn the primary stage of domains, which was fields. Not all body condensation state would know fields. Fields weren't domains. It was a far cry from that, but it was the fetus of domain. Only once a cultivator learned fields would he be able to progress that into a domains. No matter how prodigious the cultivator was, he would need to have some understanding of domains to reach cauldron filling state. Only once you reached cauldron filling state would a cultivator first begin to control the world around him. Without domains, you couldn't control space and everything. This is why only truth realization state cultivators could form the cultivation essence giant hand and easily grab low-level cultivators. They knew the concept of domains. Everything under the cultivation essence giant hand was their domain. No one can break free. Only a master who also understood domains could fight with them. Of course, some cultivators had mastered the complete domain in disaster transformation state, and those cultivators weren't much weaker than truth realization state cultivators. They might even be able to kill people above their level. From cauldron filling state to truth realization state, it was a progress of perfecting your domain and learning the laws of the world. A few truth realization state powerful beings would learn a higher level of domain, and that was realms. The chances of that was not even 1 in a billion. The reason Yong Wuzi was so shocked was that Yi Mo was only body condensation state, yet he surpassed fields and began to form his domain. How could he not be shocked? Meng Qi also looked in disbelief. A body condensation state cultivator skipped fields and went straight into domains. This was too shocking. But clearly, Yong Wuzi was stronger than that Air Wu, and ripples started to form around his body that soon clashed with the purple sword rays. The purple sword rays were instantly crippled, and the club regained its speed as it struck the cauldron. Yi Mo was sent flying tens of meters back. Yong Wuzi grabbed his club and smirked at Yi Mo. So what if you formed the basis for your domain? A mere body condensation state tertiary stage. I can kill you like a chicken. Meng Qi saw the blood on the corner of Yi Mo's mouth and quickly went to help him. Martial brother Yi, are you all right? If Yi Mo died, her fate would be tragic too. Yi Mo waved his hand. I'm fine, but this animal is much stronger than that guy before. He was body condensation state level 6 when he fought Air Wu and injured him with 1 strike despite Air Wu underestimating him. However, he was body condensation state level 7 now, and yet he was injured after clashing with Yong Wuzi. That wave might be the domain Yong Wuzi was talking about. Yi Mo took a step forward and hacked out with Zisu. When fighting against someone like Yong Wuzi, you couldn't retreat or you would lose your momentum. When Zisu first hacked out, it was a meter-long purple ray, but when it came above Yong Wuzi's head, it was nearly 10 meters. It didn't stop at all, and went even longer while emitted purple sword rays from the side. Illusion Cloud Hua Mountain Strike. This was the first time Yi Mo used Illusion Cloud Hua Mountain with full power. Yong Wuzi's face finally looked serious. He felt the threat of this strike. He yelled, and his club turned into a black rain. Meng Qi saw the long purple sword ray and immediately was immersed in it. It was so pretty, she had the feeling that she wanted to jump in to feel that purple beauty. She even felt the purple ray was calling her to go in. Meng Qi saw the long purple sword ray and immediately was immersed in it. It was so pretty, she had the feeling that she wanted to jump in to feel that purple beauty. She even felt the purple ray was calling her to go in. Meng Qi subconsciously moved a step, and then she saw the purple ray emite countless purple sword rays. So pretty. She finally moved but soon shivered at the killing intent. She woke up and saw the dense clutter of dark rays wanting to stop the purple ray. Meng Qi finally woke up and wiped the sweat from her forehead. She took many steps back and felt more shocked at Yi Mo's strike. She didn't even have the ability to resist that strike. Meanwhile, Yong Wuzi was able to release his magic artifact and block it. Yong Wuzi was indeed powerful, and the stories of him being able to kill people above his level must not be fake. Zisu and the club clashed together, creating a heaven-shocking sound. Waves of powerful cultivation essence struck Yi Mo's octagonal cauldron. The dark rays that were densely cluttered also struck the octagonal cauldron. Even with Yi Mo's powerful cultivation essence, he couldn't help spitting blood. The purple ray was shrinking rapidly, and even the purple sword rays were being emitted slower. They weren't as vibrant as before. Crack, there was another huge explosion. Yi Mo knew that although Yong Wuzi stopped the sword power of his Hua Mountain strike, he wasn't able to stop Zisu. Zisu had shrunk back down and passed through Yong Wuzi's chest with a bloody mist. Yong Wuzi flew back 100 meters and looked at the broken club in disbelief. When he looked at Yi Mo again, there was fear in his eyes. This body condensation state was strong to this extent. Yi Mo didn't intend to stop at all. He didn't even wipe the blood from his lips as he hacked out again. Yong Wuzi saw that Yi Mo ignored him and was furious. A dark halo appeared above his head, and he charged forward too, like Yi Mo, while releasing his club. Yi Mo saw clearly that the dark halo was actually a bed. This guy's defense magic artifact was actually a big bed. This was the first time Yi Mo had seen this. With a clank, Yong Wuzi shook and his bed was stopped. Yong Wuzi was shocked. Yi Mo's attack could affect his control of his magic artifact, and make it stop. This was too terrifying. He didn't dare to conserve any strength and used all his cultivation essence on his club as he smashed out. He regretted not wearing his armor. Yi Mo's spirit sense sword was blocked by the defense magic artifact. Yi Mo's spirit sense was pained. That bed defense magic artifact was too strange. Even his purple eye soul sever was blocked. Yi Mo didn't dare to be careless and let out Shadowless. Rumble Zisu and the club clashed together again. Purple rays splashed everywhere, but neither of them retreated. Rumble Rumble the two's magic artifacts clashed together again and again, but no one changed their method of attack. Many huge craters have formed at the battle scene, but the two didn't feel it at all. Meng Qi looked in shock. She didn't know why Yi Mo was fighting Yong Wuzi head-on. If Yi Mo used that strike again, he would be able to heavily injure Yong Wuzi. But Yi Mo closed his eyes. He had many means to suppress Yong Wuzi, but whether it was Hua Mountain Strike, Formation Kill Strike, or even Lightning Sword, he didn't use a single one. Yong Wuzi looked ferocious, but there was fear in his heart. Although he wasn't able to kill him alone, only beat him, with Shadowless he would be able to kill Yong Wuzi without a problem. The reason he didn't kill Yong Wuzi was because he wanted to feel the Illusion Cloud's 7th strike. Yong Wuzi was good practice. He felt his strike was getting clearer and clearer while being easier and easier. Yong Wuzi was getting more and more shocked. Usually in a fight like this, he could easily beat cultivators higher level than him. But facing Yi-Mo, he was scared. He felt his momentum was getting weaker and weaker, but Yi-Mo's was getting stronger and stronger until eventually he wouldn't be able to block it at all. When Zisu hacked off another pile of spikes on the club, Yongwuzi wanted to run, but Yi-Mo knew what Yongwuzi was thinking. Zisu didn't hack out the repetitive strikes again. Instead, there was a veil of purple. It was like Hua Mountain Strike, but different. Hua Mountain Strike was a long ray, but this strike was an increasing huge purple veil. Yongwuzi was swept by that purple veil and felt he was sinking into a mud pit. Domain. This is the real domain. You've actually learned domains. Yongwuzi yelled out in shock. He finally realized why Yi-Mo fought with him monotonously. It was to use him to practice his domain. Yongwuzi couldn't think about other things. He spat out a few mouthfuls of essence blood and took out 2 runes. He waved his hand, and the runes exploded. In that instant, the purple veil splashed away like fireworks. Yongwuzi felt the pressure around him ease, and he breathed easy. He took away his magic artifact and wanted to run. He was truly scared now. His cultivation level was higher than Yi-Mo, but it was Yi-Mo using domains. Even if Yi-Mo was same cultivation level as him and did this, he wouldn't feel this bad. How could Yi-Mo let him get away? He had begun to control domains. This strike wasn't finished yet, but it was a fundamental change to him. The instant Yongwuzi was going to run, Shadowless chased up. The mobility rune wasn't even activated yet, and Yongwuzi felt a pause. Before he could move, a long purple ray reached over from the ends of heaven. Yongwuzi looked at this in despair and murmured, "Purple ray again." Splurge blood splashed everywhere, and Yongwuzi was cut in half. A essence spirit seeped out cursing. "My father won't let you go." Yi-Mo didn't seem to hear this and waved his hand. A black lightning arc struck out, and that essence spirit was turned to dust. In his death, Yongwuzi finally realized that Yi-Mo didn't even use his full power. If Yi-Mo used this lightning sword at the start, he might have long been killed. After Yi-Mo killed Yongwuzi, he took back Shadowless and ate a few pills before sitting down to recover. Yi-Mo paid a price too. His spirit sense was lightly injured when attacking that bed, and he received internal injuries after those head-on clashes. Seeing Yi-Mo start to recover, Meng Qi looked dazedly at the dead Yongwuzi in disbelief. Yi-Mo killed Cauldron-filling state, level 3 Yongwuzi with body condensation state, level 7 power. Yongwuzi could be said to be the strongest one in here, yet Yi-Mo could even kill him. This meant that no one could pose a threat to Yi-Mo inside the Chu 18 discs. Meng Qi looked at Yi-Mo and realized everyone, including the cult leader and Wang Tsang, had underestimated Yi-Mo. He was too mysterious. Yi-Mo didn't have a storage ring, but his magic artifact flew out. This meant he was prepared to hand out his storage ring, and also meant that his extreme grade cultivation artifact was still here. Meng Qi breathed easy after Yongwuzi was killed. It was like a nightmare was gone. She finally realized why Yi-Mo said to Yonglani, "I will be back." He wasn't sucking up to him. He was coming back to kill him. After a while, Yi-Mo got up and took Yongwuzi's storage ring before burning his body. He nodded to Meng Qi and said, "Let's go to the second disc." After a while, Yi-Mo got up and took Yongwuzi's storage ring before burning his body. He nodded to Meng Qi and said, "Let's go to the second disc." Meng Qi followed Yi-Mo, and the two walked rapidly. The first disc was some wetlands and some swamps. A few low-level spirit beasts appeared, once in a while, that ran off without them needing to do anything. Soon, the two found some simple trap and kill formations. They were hidden well, but their level was too low. Even a foundation establishment state who didn't understand formations would be safe entering such formation. These were all level 1 and level 2 formations. I heard that the first and second disc have formations below level 3. So, the cultivators who didn't die at the first disc all go to second disc for sure, Meng Qi explained. At the fourth and fifth discs, there are level 4 formations. Level 6 and level 7 are said to be level 5 formations. This hard. Yi Mo heard this and stopped. Meng Qi looked at Yi Mo. Martial brother Yi, level 7, and below, I'm confident to pass. It's not very hard. Yi Mo frowned for a while and said, I'm not talking about the 7th disc. I mean, according to your words. Then wouldn't the 18th disc be beyond a level 9 formation? Meng Qi looked at Yi Mo in shock and murmured after a while, You want to get on the 18th disc and run away. Yi Mo smiled. Otherwise, how am I going to escape? Meng Qi suddenly shook her head. No, your idea won't work. I know that the 12th disc is only a level 7 formation, and the 18th disc won't surpass a level 9 formation, but I know you won't be able to get to the 18th disc. Yi Mo was only a level 6 formation Great Master. It was already substantial that they could get to the 12th disc. Hearing this, Yi Mo realized that it was not that the formation will increase a level every disc. This meant that at the 18th disc, there might not be formations beyond level 9. When the two started breaking these formations, Yi Mo didn't care at the start, but later on he watched carefully. These formations were simple and below level 2, but their means were very amazing. Even with Yi Mo's level 8 formation skills, he couldn't tell where the heart of the formation was at. This meant that these formations were low level, but they were set up with top grade means. Each one seemed like a natural formation. If Meng Qi didn't remind him that one could only stay a day at the first disc, he would want to sit down to investigate the formation here. He was sure if he did that for a few days, his formation skills would increase drastically. Although he simulated his own formation system, if he could get the essence of someone else's formation system, it would benefit him greatly. The reason he could reach level 7 formation Grandmaster was because he was inspired by the formation at the Ice God Forbidden Grounds. Yi Mo thought of another problem. How could such low-level formations that couldn't even stop Foundation Establishment State cultivators appear here? If there was an explanation, then it was that these low-level formations were for cultivators to study. From the first disc to the 18th disc, it was a learning process. Realizing this, Yi Mo walked even slower and started to study these low-level formations. Three Birth Chant was good at simulating and developing. When Yi Mo finished the first disc, these level 1 and level 2 formation means had formed a basis in his mind. When Yi Mo came to the border of first and second disc, he indeed saw a stone tablet, and there were 27 names. Clearly, all 27 had reached the second disc. Yi Mo and Meng Qi wrote down their names and went into the second disc. The moment Yi Mo went in, he felt this pushing power, as though he was going to be pushed out. Meng Qi felt it too. Yi Mo realized that this was like the pushing power on the 12 Pill King steps. It was made based on the Chu 18 discs, so it was no wonder they had the same pushing power. Meng Qi's face changed, because if the second disc had this power, what were they going to do at the 18th disc? Even if Yi Mo was a level 9 formation Grandmaster, how could he keep going up against this pressure? Yi Mo saw Meng Qi's face change and knew what she was thinking. He smiled to her and said, "Stay closer to me." Meng Qi was dazed, but immediately came behind Yi Mo. She trusted Yi Mo wasn't someone to take advantage of her, plus she didn't dislike him. A faint aroma came, and Yi Mo was lost in his mind for a moment. He was thinking about Luo Ying and Ning Qingxue, the eyes they looked at him with when he left. They wanted him to come back quickly, but he fell in the range of the 3 sea powers. Luckily that Song, High Palace, wasn't involved, but Yi Mo didn't regret it all. Jiling helped him a great deal. Even if he knew it was a trap, he would still trade with Meng Henan. He came back to his senses and used Purple Eye Soul Sever. He immediately felt the pressure around him disappear. It was indeed like the Peking 12 steps. Just when Meng Qi was thinking about why Mo told her to come close, she felt the pressure disappear. She immediately realized what Mo meant and said joyfully, "Martial brother Yi, you have a way for the pressure to disappear?" Mo nodded, "Yes. Without it, even if we followed a level 9 formation grandmaster, we won't be able to get to the 18th disc." At the same time, Yonglani looked at the white stone in shock. Mo and Meng Qi's name appeared on it, but why wasn't Yong Wuzi's name on there? What's going on? Almost a day had passed, and the name started appearing on the second level, but Yong Wuzi's name still didn't appear. Yonglani couldn't hold it anymore and roared, "Wu, come over. Tell me about the Mo who fought with you last time." Yonglani yelled. Wu shivered and quickly came over recounting the story. "You're saying he's mere body condensation state level 6, and he injured you with one move? He also had the basis of a domain." Yonglani's voice went cold. "Yes, I was too careless at the time." Wu didn't even dare to look up. Yonglani's voice went even colder. "Careless my ass. Even if you weren't careless, you're no match for that bastard. Piss off." He kicked, and Wu spat blood while flying away, but he didn't dare to say anything. Yonglani sneered to himself. "Very well. I underestimated you. A mere body condensation state cultivator has a domain. If you dare to kill my son, I will burn your soul for 10,000 years." Everyone felt the bleak killing intent rise up from Yonglani and subconsciously moved away. Wang Tsang frowned and looked at Meng Hanan. If Mo really killed Yong Wuzi, there would be conflict between the two. If someone else recommended Mo, he would give him out, but he couldn't do that for Meng Hanan. There was a truth realization state, tertiary stage, behind her. At this time, a contestant came out from the 18 discs and landed. Before he got up, Yonglani's cultivation essence giant hand grabbed him, and Yonglani roared, "Where's my son?" Meng Qi followed closely behind Mo. There were mostly level 2 formations at the second disc, and even she didn't take them seriously. Meng Qi followed closely behind Mo. There were mostly level 2 formations at the second disc, and even she didn't take them seriously. But she found that most of the time, Mo just walked around a few times and those attacks and trap formations were wasted. But sometimes Mo would stand in front of one for a long time. After a long while, Meng Qi realized what Mo was doing. He was studying these formations. Mo was indeed doing so. He found that he learned much more at the second disc than the first. He believed that if he continued like this, then at the 18th disc, he might really become a level 9 formation grandmaster. Even though they used up some time, they surpassed some people when they came to the entrance of the third disc. Those cultivators marking their names saw Mo and Meng Qi and were extremely shocked. They didn't expect Mo could come here. How could Yong Wuzi let Mo go and let him walk with Meng Qi? Just when Mo and Meng Qi marked their names, a body condensation state, tertiary stage, level 7 cultivator stopped Mo. "Stop. Kid, did you use some scheme to escape from our young master? No matter how cunning you are, you will die at my hands." Before he could finish, Zisu brought out a long purple ray. This cultivator was a beast cultivator too, and only body condensation state level 7. This must mean he was good at formations. This cultivator was going to use his magic artifact, but he didn't expect Mo to attack without even him finishing his sentence. In his worry, the body condensation state cultivator immediately released his magic artifact, but when he held it, he felt the space around him stagnate. In that instant, he realized what it was. This was a domain. Shock flashed across his face, but before he could regret, Zisu already brought up a bloody mist. Mo threw over a purple flame and took back a storage ring. The entire process was very smooth, making it obvious that he did this often. A C cultivator alliance nascent soul state tertiary stage saw Yi Mo kill a body condensation state level 7 with one strike and screamed. In that instant, he was teleported out after losing control. Everyone was silent. No one dared to speak in front of Yi Mo after seeing this. Some smart cultivators had realized that Yong Wuzi might have already been killed by Yi Mo. Meng Qi was also dazed. She saw Yi Mo's battle with Yong Wuzi earlier, but now he instantly killed a cultivator about the same cultivation level as him. Clearly, his battle power increased a lot after the battle. He seemed to be constantly progressing. The other two cultivators from the Tong High Cult saw this and didn't dare to say anything. Brother Yi, nice. Unexpectedly, someone came up to greet Yi Mo at this moment. This cultivator looked like he was in his 30s and was body condensation state level 1 power. His face was a little bronze-colored, but his eyes were very bright. The cultivator saluted with his fists. I'm Jing Xuecheng, from the Songhai Palace. You're the Songhai Palace's first king, Jing Xiangdong's. Meng Qi said in shock. Jing Xuecheng laughed in self-mockery. That's right. My father is the first king of the Songhai Palace, Jing Xiangdong. Ha ha! Every time someone says my name, the first thing they think about is my father. Meng Qi was a little embarrassed. Sorry, your father is too famous. It's just out of habit. Jing Xuecheng didn't mind. It's fine, perhaps decades later, when people mention Jing Xiangdong, would they ask if he was Jing Xuecheng's father? Ha ha! Jing Xuecheng was open and didn't seem cunning. This gave Yi Mo a good impression. Although it was due to him killing Yong Wuzi, Yi Mo didn't mind. Who would want to connect with you if you were useless? Even Ji Ling approved of him due to his talent. Only after they connected with you due to your talent would they begin to understand you. Then they would realize that you're not just about talent. Then you become best friends. Brother Jing, you praise me too much. I'm Yi Mo, just a solo cultivator. I'm just passing by the C Cultivator Alliance now. Yi Mo saluted with his fists. Jing Xuecheng saw there were no cultivators around and waved his hand, letting a cauldron-filling state next to him go in first before asking, Did you kill Yong Wuzi's brother Yi? Otherwise, there's no way he would let you go. Yi Mo smiled. Yes, I killed him. Yi Mo's straightforwardness got Jing Xuecheng's approval, and he clapped his hands. Brother Yi, nice courage. I admire people like Brother Yi. If Brother Yi doesn't mind, you can come with me to Songhai Palace after the tournament. I hope to become friends with Brother Yi. Would you give me that honor? Yi Mo also approved more and more of Jing Xuecheng. This guy knew he killed Yong Wuzi and still invited him to Songhai Palace, clearly wanting to protect him this way. He was saying it like this to save his face in front of Meng Qi. But Yi Mo was planning to leave here, so he was going to go to Songhai Palace. He still said gratefully, Thank you, Brother Jing, but that Yong Lanyi wasn't going to let me go to begin with, and now that I killed Yong Wuzi, he will be more furious. So there's no need to go to Songhai Palace. I have no opportunity to go. Jing Xuecheng took out a jade card. Brother Yi, if you go out before I come out and that Yong Lanyi dares to look for trouble, then give this jade card to my father. As long as you maintain that you didn't kill Yong Wuzi, it's fine. No matter how unreasonable that Yong Lanyi is, he won't dare to do what he wants in front of our Songhai Palace. Of course, if I go out first, then this won't happen. Then Jing Xuecheng mocked himself. Haha, I still ended up using my father's card. Yi Mo was dazed. This was the first time he met Jing Xuecheng, and they approved of each other, but this Jing Xuecheng dared to let his father protect him. Regardless of whether it would work, this was very generous help because if Jing Xiangdong dared to help him in this situation, he would become mortal enemies with Yong Lanyi. They might even fight on the spot. Brother Jing, I'm a mortal enemy to that Yong Lanyi. I will bring trouble to you. Yi Mo pushed the card back. Jing Xuecheng laughed. Brother Yi, are you looking down on me? that Yonglani is strong, but our Songhai Palace is no pushover. If you're willing to be friends with me, then take the jade card. I can guarantee with my life that you can be a guest at Songhai Three Islands. Yi Mo saw that Jing Xueching said this, and didn't act too distant anymore. He took the jade card and saluted with his fists. Brother Jing, in that case, I'm making this friend for sure. But I might not be able to go to Songhai Palace this time. Don't worry, the next time I come over here, I will come visit for sure. Okay, in that case, I'll be going a step ahead. We'll talk once we go out. Even if you don't come to Songhai Palace, I can come to Ling Island. Jing Xueching laughed and walked into the third disc. Clearly, he didn't expect Yi Mo was going to be leaving here immediately. Yi Mo nodded. This brother Jing is a rather generous and straightforward person. He's a worthy friend. He's not even 100, and yet he's body condensation state level 1, quite substantial. Little did Yi Mo know that Jing Xueching was praising him the same way. He could reach body condensation state level 1 at this age because he had many fortunes, and he was the young master of the Songhai Palace. On the other hand, Yi Mo was a solo cultivator and younger than him, but also stronger than him. What made his blood boil was that Yi Mo killed Yong Wuzi and just straight up admitted it. No one would dare to do this in the Heartless Sea Outer Rim, but Yi Mo did. How could he not be friends with Yi Mo? At the same time, Yong Lani grabbed that cultivator and roared, "You said that Yi Mo killed our contestant Chun Li? In one move. Speak." After entering the third disc, Yi Mo didn't hold back anymore. He didn't even study the formations as intently. He wanted to study the formations here for a good half-month, but he knew that was implausible. Luckily, he only needed to know the framework of the formation. After entering the third disc, Yi Mo didn't hold back anymore. He didn't even study the formations as intently. He wanted to study the formations here for a good half-month, but he knew that was implausible. Luckily, he only needed to know the framework of the formation. Meng Qi was numb from following Yi Mo. She heard that the fast people would need at least half a day to pass the first 3 discs, yet Yi Mo only used 15 minutes to pass the third. When they came to the entrance of the 4th disc, they found only 3 names on it. Meng Qi followed Yi Mo and quickly passed the 4th and to the 5th. This time, there were no names written on it. This meant that they reached the 5th disc first, but strangely, Yi Mo didn't go in and sat down instead. After another half a day, 2 Tong high cultivators came here. When they saw Yi Mo, they had a serious look. They immediately released their magic artifacts. Clearly, they already knew that Yi Mo killed Chun Li with 1 strike, and even Yong Wuzi might have been killed by Yi Mo. They had good formation skills, but they were just hollow spirit state power. Yi Mo waved his hand. "Don't worry, I won't kill you. I have a jade slip here. One of you please give it to Yong Lani. This news is very helpful for your sect leader. I admire Yong Lani greatly, so I've worked hard to help him with this." The hollow spirit state didn't dare to hesitate and quickly took the jade slip, while still being wary of Yi Mo. If Yi Mo dared to attack, he would teleport out immediately. Yi Mo saw that the cultivator just took his jade slip, but didn't do anything, so his face immediately sank. "Did you not hear what I just said? I told you to give this to Yong Lani. Are you deaf?" The hollow spirit state cultivator shook and said carefully, "But we're in the tournament." Yi Mo scanned him and said plainly, "So you're saying competing is more important than delivering my message?" No. The hollow spirit state quickly said. He was really scared Yi Mo would suddenly cut him. "Then hurry up." Yi Mo raised his voice. The hollow spirit state cultivator was scared to the point of shaking, and he no longer dared to resist the power of the Chu 18 discs and was teleported out. Seeing this, Yi Mo ignored the other pale-faced hollow spirit state and went into the 5th disc. Meng Qi finally couldn't hold it and said after walking a while, "I feel you were like that Yong Lani just then." Yi Mo smiled. Really? I learn it from him. After falling silent for a while, she said, It's not good to learn from him. I don't like that type of person. Yi Mo smiled this time and didn't reply. Of course, he wasn't going to learn this tyrannous attitude from Yong Lanyi, but he didn't need to explain to Meng Qi. He did this just to see if he could make Yong Lanyi spit blood. Outside, Yong Lanyi threw that cultivator who just got teleported out, and he was shaking with anger. He knew Yi Mo and Meng Qi were fine, and Yi Mo killed his cult's body condensation state, cultivator, Chung Li, with his ability to kill him in one strike. Yong Wuzi is clearly dead. There was just endless regret in his mind right now. He regretted not killing Yi Mo on the spot and letting him go in the Chu 18 discs. Although Yi Mo would still be teleported out, his son was dead. He swore that if that Yi Mo came out, he would tear him muscle by muscle and let his essence spirit be burned by the tainted abyssal flame while he watched his body getting shredded down. That Meng Qi, he would strip her naked and let thousands of people rape her. Even so, that wasn't enough to satisfy his fury. Even Yong Yuer didn't dare to keep playing with her storage ring and looked hatefully at the Chu 18 discs. But Yong Lanyi eventually controlled his anger. His face was calm. At this moment, another contestant was teleported out. Yong Lanyi saw that cultivator and grabbed him over immediately. Pang Bo, you're the only level 6 formation grandmaster. Why would you be teleported out? Speak. Pang Bo's face was scared pale, and he was shaking. Another truth realization state. Cultivator walked over. Cult leader, don't get agitated. Put him down and let him speak. Yong Lanyi nodded and threw Pang Bo on the ground. Tell me precisely. Yes, cult leader. Pang Bo said shakily. At the entrance to the 5th disc, I saw Yi Mo waiting there. He killed Chung Li and waited at the door. He gave a jade slip to me and told me to give it to cult leader. If I didn't come out, he would kill me immediately. So, Yong Lanyi said with a green face, Show me the jade slip. Yes, Pang Bo didn't dare to hesitate at all, and took it out. Yong Lanyi checked it and found it was fine before he scanned his spirit sense in. As soon as his spirit sense touched it, the jade slip made a thudding sound, and Yong Lanyi immediately released a cultivation essence barrier. But that thud didn't do any damage. Instead, it turned the jade slip into a firework, and that airflow quickly seeped out. No one noticed that one dark ray flew towards Yong Yuer's storage ring. Everyone knew of the situation, but they didn't know what Yi Mo meant. One cultivator pointed in the sky and said, Look. With this, everyone looked up, and a row of words appeared on the sky. Yong Lanyi, you white-skinned baby face. You look handsome, but your son Yong Wuzi is dark and ugly. How could he be your son? I believe you must know the cause, but since you're so kind, I helped you get back at him and killed this illegitimate child. No need to thank me. It's something I should be doing. The row of words stayed in the air for a long while before disappearing. Seeing this, many cultivators wanted to laugh, but no one dared to. Everyone could guess Yong Wuzi wasn't Yong Lanyi's son, but only Yi Mo dared to say it. But this cultivator called Yi Mo was quite interesting. He dared to say such thing to Yong Lanyi overtly. Did he not know there are things for cultivators in this world that are thousands of times more terrifying than death? Yong Lanyi's fist was cracking. Blood rushed up to his throat. If he wasn't so powerful, he would have spat blood. Just when fire was about to beam out of his eyes, he saw the storage ring in his daughter's hand and was shook. He immediately said, Give me the storage ring. Yong Yuer didn't dare to say no, and immediately gave it. The moment it left her hand, a terrifying energy was released. Yong Lanyi set up a cultivation essence barrier in a split moment and threw Yong Yuer out. Rumble, rumble, Yi Mo had set up the explosion restriction in short time. He knew that no matter how long he spent on it, he wouldn't be able to injure Yong Lanyi at all. But the instant he threw Yong Yuer out, her clothes were torn a little. She wasn't injured, and she immediately took out a new set of clothes. But her pretty face was now red with anger. Yong Lanyi's hair was just a little messy after the explosion, but he could no longer control his anger. That bastard who kept saying he deserved to die had long been scheming against him. Yi Mo, if I don't kill you, I'm not a human. Yong Lanyi said word by word. One cultivator from the Tsang High Palace saw this and frowned. To be able to make this jade slip and set up all these mechanisms, no ordinary cultivator could do it. One needed to be far better than Yong Lanyi in restrictions and formations. More importantly, this cultivator must have very powerful spirit sense control and spirit sense. It was already a little hard for Meng Qi to enter the fifth disc, but Yi Mo walked around freely. There seemed to be nothing that could stop him, whether it was an attack, trap, or illusion formation. It was already a little hard for Meng Qi to enter the fifth disc, but Yi Mo walked around freely. There seemed to be nothing that could stop him, whether it was an attack, trap, or illusion formation. Even though Meng Qi knew Yi Mo was a level 6 formation great master, she didn't expect him to walk this freely into the sixth disc. Sometimes, she even suspected if Yi Mo was beyond a level 6 formation great master now. She was also confused how Yi Mo made the pushing power disappear, but she didn't ask this. In fact, Yi Mo was already trying hard to reduce his speed. Sometimes when he saw a very exquisite formation, he would stop and study it for a while. Even so, on the third day, they still passed to the ninth disc and came to the entrance of the 10th. There were a few level 6 formations in the ninth disc, and according to his experience, Yi Mo was sure that 10th disc would have all level 6 formations. Yi Mo didn't go in at the entrance of the 10th disc, nor did he write his name. Instead, he sat down, and Meng Qi followed. Meng Qi asked carefully, "Martial brother Yi, are you worried that the 10th disc will be all level 6 formations, and we will be teleported out?" Yi Mo smiled. "I'm worried, but not about that." He paused and looked at Meng Qi. "If we marked our names on the ninth disc, what do you think the Sea Cultivator Alliance will get?" Meng Qi thought for a while before answering. "I think they would get either second or last place. Definitely not first." Yi Mo shook his head. "I disagree. I'm sure that if I mark my name here, Sea Cultivator Alliance would get either first or second place, definitely not last. I think probably second place. Song High Palace contestants can get to the ninth for sure." He knew this because the guy he forced out was Tong High Sect's formation master. With that, Tong High Sect is pretty much out of the game. He then looked at Meng Qi and added, "If it wasn't that your master helped me, I wouldn't mind Sea Cultivator Alliance being last, but no matter what rank they get, the ninth disc will be the last tablet. I mark my name." Meng Qi fell silent. She couldn't say anything about it. She knew why Yi Mo still hadn't marked his name. He was waiting for others. If they went too fast, it wasn't good. Half a day later, Yi Mo got up and marked his name. "Let's go to the 10th disc." Then he turned around to Meng Qi. "Sometimes don't trust people who aren't very close to you like your master." Meng Hanan, being unable to fulfill her promise, made Yi Mo doubt her character. Meng Qi frowned. "Martial brother, Yi, I know my master didn't help you, and you have a bad view of her, but she really treats me nicely. It's not that she doesn't want to help us, but her ability is limited." Yi Mo sneered and didn't respond. If she couldn't help them, why make the promise? Meng Hanan clearly didn't care about his life. Meng Qi saw this and sighed. Sea Cultivator Alliance's Yi Mo and Meng Qi went into the 10th disc. Songhai Palace is only at the 7th disc. Cultivators were discussing. Wang Song looked at the white tablet excitedly. He never believed Yi Mo would be able to pass the 9th disc and be the first. But after news of Yi Mo killing a body condensation state level 8 with one move got out, he grew excited. if Yi Mo was really that powerful and he was level 6 formation Great Master, then the Sea Cultivator Alliance would get a big surprise this time. He guessed right. Yi Mo was able to get into the 10th disc, this quickly meaning that he quite possibly would reach 11th and 12th. If Yi Mo went into 11th, then it was obvious that Sea Cultivator Alliance would be first. This means they would get 50 people going into Feng Chu Island. This had never happened before. As long as Yi Mo could help him get first, it was fine. He wouldn't care if Yi Mo was killed by Yong Lani. Meng Hanan saw this and was also surprised. But thinking that a genius like Yi Mo was about to be killed by Yong Lani, she felt guilty. She didn't consider Yi Mo's safety very seriously indeed. Yong Lani was more furious. He didn't expect this insect's formation skills to be this powerful. He was first and was that far ahead of second. His top contestant was forced out by him, so it was impossible for them to get first this time. But soon, the spectators were confused. After Yi Mo and Meng Qi went into the 10th disc, they seemed to have gone into hiding. Jing Xueqing and another cultivator had passed the 8th disc, but they still didn't leave the 10th disc. Everyone thought they had encountered trouble. Another day passed. Jing Xueqing also marked his name on the 9th disc and went into the 10th, but Yi Mo and Meng Qi still stayed at the 10th. Wang Tsang frowned and asked Meng Hanan, "What's going on?" With the power Yi Mo displayed, it was highly possible he would pass the 10th disc, but Yi Mo still didn't leave his name. Meng Hanan also frowned and shook her head. "I don't know Yi Mo, but Chi-Chi should be fine." Yi Mo took Meng Qi into the 11th disc and didn't leave his name. Meng Qi knew that Yi Mo didn't want to get first for the Sea Cultivator Alliance at all. Since Yi Mo didn't mark his name, of course, she wasn't going to as well. When Meng Qi followed Yi Mo into the 14th disc, she realized that Yi Mo wasn't a level 6 formation Great Master at all. He was at least a level 7 formation Grand Master. Yi Mo was only injured a little by an attack formation in 14th disc, and Meng Qi suspected Yi Mo did it on purpose as he wanted to see the formation. Meng Qi was right. Yi Mo indeed activated that attack formation on purpose, but it wasn't just to test its power, but also to see how it ran. Yi Mo knew that with his level 8 formation skills, it was a bit hard to reach the 18th disc, so he had to keep increasing his formation skills on the way. At the 14th disc, Yi Mo suddenly stopped. He looked back at Meng Qi and said, "I don't believe there is someone who can reach the 14th disc." Meng Qi nodded in agreement. Yi Mo looked at Meng Qi and suddenly said, "If I tell you to take off all your clothes and let me see what you agree?" Meng Qi was softly listening to Yi Mo's words, but after hearing this, her face burst red and fury beamed through her eyes. "What did you say?" Her heart went cold. She thought Yi Mo was a righteous person and a hero big brother-like figure, but now she knew she saw wrong. At this moment, he made this request. Even if she died, she wouldn't want this guy to assault her. But Yi Mo stared at her and wasn't desperate at all. Meng Qi breathed heavily but calmed down. She stared at Yi Mo coldly. "Let go of my protection. Let me go out. I don't want to follow you." Yi Mo shook his head. "Sorry, I can't let you go alone. You will die for sure. And that Yong Lani will give you a horrible death." Meng Qi heard this and shivered, but she still said coldly, "Even if I die, that's my problem. It has nothing to do with you." Yi Mo said calmly, "It does. If you go out, people will know I can reach the 18th disc, and they will stop me around there." Meng Qi calmed down and said coldly, "Even if you kill me, I won't take off my clothes. Keep dreaming." Meng Qi calmed down and said coldly, "Even if you kill me, I won't take off my clothes. Keep dreaming." Suddenly, she stopped. Wait, if Yi Mo wanted her, he didn't need to ask for her approval at all. Could she resist him? Plus, why would he be in the mood for that now? Also, Yi Mo was right. If she went out, would her master be able to protect her? She wouldn't even be able to commit suicide in front of Yonglani. No matter what Emo was thinking, he was just one person. She would just pretend it was a nightmare. Thinking about this, she calmed down, and her fury was gone. She started loosening her clothes, and she said coldly, "Okay, I agree. I hope after you do what you do, you can fulfill your promise and take me out of here." Emo smiled plainly. "Marshal Sister Meng, you don't need to take off your clothes. You've misunderstood me. But the fact is I do need to check your body. I need to check if there are any marks left on you. This is like taking off your clothes. But I'm not taking you out to fulfill my promise. If you're not willing, I won't force you. But one thing I need to make clear, if I can get to the 18th disc, I won't allow you to come with me." Meng Qi was dazed and immediately understood what Emo meant. Her face went red with awkwardness. She said in a stutter, "Marshal Brother Yi, you're saying I've been marked?" Emo nodded. "Yes, so it's up to you if you're willing, but you understand what I mean." Meng Qi said quietly to Emo, "Sorry, Marshal Brother Yi, I thought of you in a bad way. Check me. Regardless, I won't resist." Emo nodded. He was happy with her decisiveness. If she didn't even have this, she would be a burden to be with. "Relax your mind," Emo said and grabbed her wrist. His spirit sense scanned her from head to toe, not even letting of the fingernails. Meng Qi couldn't feel Emo's spirit sense, but knew what he was doing. She could even feel that Emo's hand wasn't on her wrist, but all over her body, making her shake. Her face was bursting red with embarrassment. She knew she had no privacy in front of Emo at all. She just wanted to leave the Chu 18 discs as quickly as possible, and use the space travel rune to leave Luo Yu continent and never see Emo again. At this moment, Emo's hand suddenly left her wrist, and a hidden black spot appeared in Emo's hands. Meng Qi could see it clearly with her spirit sense, and she asked sluggishly, "Marshal Brother Yi, this is the spirit sense mark on my body?" Emo breathed easy. He was scared that there would be a mark, and he wouldn't be able to find it. Emo nodded. "Yes." "Ha." Meng Qi dazed. She didn't know who marked her body. She suddenly felt despair that her master was that nice to her, but still secretly marked her body. Emo seemed to know what she thought and comforted her. "It's probably not your master's. This spirit sense mark belongs to a truth realization state cultivator, and his power isn't low." Meng Qi heard this and was shook. "I understand." When her master brought her to see the Vice Alliance leader Tai Ha, he tested her talent. Tai Ha was master support and a truth realization state cultivator. This meant that the spirit sense mark was left behind by Tai Ha. If he did this, then her master would know for sure. Although she was a little sad, she thought that she was saved by her master, so she calmed down. She had long cast her embarrassment aside and looked at the black and asked, "Marshal Brother Yi, do you have a way to destroy it?" Emo smiled. "Why would I want to destroy it?" He wasn't going to destroy it, then they would lose the lead. As long as they still had a lead, they wouldn't be too wary of Meng Qi. Emo took out his formation flag and started setting up a formation. In just 15 minutes, he set up a trap formation in the 14th disc and put the mark inside. Then he took her and left. They were all high level 7 formations, but Emo was on the verge of breakthrough. So although these formations were good, they weren't enough to stop him. But even though Emo was learning as he went, he still brought Meng Qi into 15th disc. In here, it didn't feel wet as before, but both felt that the spirit qi here was more dense, many times more. Such dense spirit qi. Meng Qi exclaimed. Suddenly, she asked, "Marshal Brother Yi, if I used the space travel rune here, would I be able to leave?" Emo shook his head. "I don't know, but I don't suggest you try here. If you fail, you will be teleported to Yonglani, and I will be troubled too." Meng Qi said adamantly, "I won't tell your plan." Emo shook his head, because at that time, Yonglani won't need you to tell him for him. To know, Meng Qi shivered. How could she know the means of truth realization state cultivator? Who knew if he couldn't soul search her? Meng Qi stopped talking and just followed Yemo. At the same time, she watched the 15th disc formations. She didn't know a single one, but she was sure any one of them could stop her. At the beginning of the 15th disc, there were ordinary level 8 formations, and although Yemo was on the verge of breakthrough, he was still a level 8 formation grandmaster, so he began to slow down. Meng Qi followed Yemo closely and didn't dare to lag a single step behind. Yemo saw all sorts of formations here that amazed him. What he didn't dare to believe was that there were even some level 7 spirit herbs here. This was probably due to the drastic increase in spirit chi. Yemo investigated the formations while collecting spirit herbs. If it wasn't that Yemo could come into the Chu 18 discs, Meng Qi would think Yemo was some 1,000-year-old cultivator. Otherwise, how could he walk so freely here? In a day's time, Yemo and Meng Qi passed into the 16th disc. His formation skills also improved more. But Yemo was still within the realm of level 8 formation grandmaster. Once they came into the 16th disc, Meng Qi and Yemo felt an even denser spirit chi. Meng Qi breathed comfortably and looked at ahead in admiration. I really want to cultivate here for a few years. I would be able to reach body condensation state for sure. Yemo realized now that there was definitely a spirit range under here, and one that wasn't low level. In the 16th disc were all top-grade level 8 formations, and so although Yemo was on the verge of breakthrough, he didn't dare to be careless. One little mistake, and he would be in Yonglanyi's hands. Outside, Yonglanyi closed his eyes. No one knew what he was thinking, but everyone could feel his killing intent. Outside, Yonglanyi closed his eyes. No one knew what he was thinking, but everyone could feel his killing intent. More and more cultivators were being teleported out. Songhai Cult only had 2 people left trying to pass the 9th disc, while the Songhai Palace had the most people still in the trial. Jing Xueqing had passed the 10th disc and went into the 11th disc. 2 more of his power faction were still on the 9th disc. As for Sea Cultivator Alliance, other than the names, Yemo and Meng Qi left on the 9th disc. The best, they had only passed the 8th disc. The rest of the contestants all failed. Wang Song looked bleakly at the white stone. Meng Qi was fine, and she went into the 10th disc with Yemo. But even now, they still hadn't marked their names on the 10th disc. If even the 2 cultivators from Tong Hai Sect marked their names on the 9th disc, the Sea Cultivator Alliance would still be last. He even suspected that Yemo was angry at him for not helping and intentionally didn't leave his name. If that was the case, he would kill Yemo first before Yonglanyi. Yemo stopped at the first trap formation at the 16th disc. There were too many variations in formations. Even the same formation set up with different means would have different effects. If Yemo didn't go from low to high in here and directly face the 16th disc instead, even he would need a while to break it. So he stopped at the first trap formation. He wanted to study it deeply to set up a foundation for entering the 17th disc. Meng Qi sat behind Yemo cultivating. She didn't even collect the spirit herbs as she knew how dangerous it was now. Yemo could have used 1 day to pass the 16th disc, but he used 3 days. Then he took Meng Qi into the 17th disc. Martial Brother Yi, you're a level 9 formation Grand Master? Meng Qi finally couldn't resist asking. She felt the level 8 formations at 16th disc didn't trouble Yemo much. Yemo shook his head. I'm not yet level 9 formation Grand Master. I'm only level 8. Hearing this, Meng Qi was shocked out of her mind. A level 8 formation Grand Master within 100 years. This was unbelievable. But soon, she began to worry. Yemo said he wasn't a level 9 formation Grand Master. Then that means he didn't have confidence in passing the 18th disc. Martial Brother Yi, you mean... Meng Qi didn't dare to ask. Yemo knew what she wanted to say, and smiled. That's right, I don't have certainty in passing the 18th disc, but now that I stand at the 17th disc, it means I have a chance of passing. Who can be sure I can't reach level 9 formation Grand Master here? Meng Qi looked dazedly at Yi Mo. Not expecting Yi Mo dared to try and reach level 9 formation Grand Master here. It was no wonder he studied the formations before for so long. But even if he used all 18 days to study, could he reach level 9 formation Grand Master? 18 days, not 18 years, or 180 years. Meng Qi was speechless, but she immediately thought that since Yi Mo could reach level 8 formation Grand Master within 100 years, who could be sure that he couldn't reach level 9 formation Grand Master in these 18 days? Looking at Yi Mo, he was far from even 50 years old. Thinking about this, Meng Qi couldn't help asking, "Martial brother Yi, are you 50 years old?" Yi Mo was dazed, but he shook his head. Meng Qi was speechless. This meant that Yi Mo was probably only in his 30s or 40s, and yet he already reached this height. There were many more prodigies in her cultivation world than Luo Yu continent, but she had never seen someone as absurd as Yi Mo, horrifyingly young, and his power, formation skills, and forgery skills were all through the roof. As they spoke, Yi Mo realized they were in a misty world. He was shook. This was the first time he didn't even see a formation, and he was trapped. Meng Qi also realized this, and knew they were trapped. She didn't dare to speak. She even thought they were trapped because she distracted Yi Mo and regretted greatly. Yi Mo knew this had nothing to do with her. The 3-birth chant allowed him to even form his golden core during a fight. How could he be affected by words? "Don't move. Stay close to me. This is a level 9 trap formation." "It might also be an illusion formation," Yi Mo said. He told Meng Qi not to move as he didn't know this formation. If the two moved, they might be separated instantly. If Meng Qi separated from him, she would either be teleported out or killed. Meng Qi didn't dare to move at all. Yi Mo let out his spirit sense carefully and found that his spirit sense couldn't pass through the mist at all and was devoured. Yi Mo suddenly thought of the misty valley in the herb valley. It also devoured spirit sense. Yi Mo sat down and started to study this level 9 formation. Meng Qi didn't dare to look around and looked at Yi Mo without blinking. She felt Yi Mo's back was beginning to fade. She was so scared she was immediately about to grab Yi Mo's clothes. But what shook her was she missed. A powerful pushing force came. Meng Qi was shook. She wanted to stop that pushing force, but it grew larger and larger. Soon, she would be teleported out. The next moment, she took out her flying sword. If she was teleported out, she would use it to suicide. Meng Qi didn't dare to imagine her fate if she fell in Yong Lanyi's hands. At this moment, Yi Mo also woke up in shock to find Meng Qi wasn't behind him. If she got teleported out, it meant his plan of escaping from the 18th disc would be spoiled. At this moment, Yi Mo couldn't worry about studying this formation and threw out formation flags. Moments later, the mist dissipated, and he saw Meng Qi was about to suicide with a flying sword. Yi Mo dashed over to her without hesitation and took away the flying sword while protecting her with spirit sense sever. Meng Qi woke up and saw that she was saved by Yi Mo and couldn't help crying tears of joy. "I'll carry you." Yi Mo knew he only understood a little bit of this formation, and that's how he was able to save her, but this didn't mean he would be able to save her next time, too. Meng Qi nodded and jumped on Yi Mo's back. Yi Mo took out a top-grade spirit artifact band and wrapped her tightly before sitting down to study the formation. Yi Mo used his 3-birth chant to simulate the level 9 formation and try to break through to level 9 formation Grand Master. But Meng Qi wasn't able to calm down. Yi Mo tied her too tightly. Her chest was completely squished against Yi Mo's back. The masculine qi of manliness seeped over, and she couldn't stop thinking. She had never touched a male cultivator and was very shy. Yet she didn't dare to move now, as she was scared it would distract Yemo. As time went by, Meng Qi felt her body was soft. She had this inexplicable feeling of joy. She bit her lips and tried desperately to control her shivering. Suddenly, Yemo rose up and howled. His formation flags sprayed out, and Meng Qi felt the white mist dissipate rapidly. Yemo realized this moment that his formation system came from the three-birth chant. It was a unique system, and he didn't need to study others' formations. No matter how unique others' formations were, as long as he was a level 9 formation Grandmaster, other level 9 formations meant nothing to him. Yemo realized this moment that his formation system came from the three-birth chant. It was a unique system, and he didn't need to study others' formations. No matter how unique others' formations were, as long as he was a level 9 formation Grandmaster, other level 9 formations meant nothing to him. The first 16 discs experience told him that all level 8 formations couldn't stop him because he was a level 8 formation Grandmaster. If he wanted to focus on studying other people's formations, he would instead be heading down the wrong path. For other formations, he only needed to know the logic behind the formation. At this moment, Yemo's view finally opened up. His formation skills finally opened a crevice between level 8 and level 9. The moment he stood up and sprayed down formation flags, he reached level 9 formation Grandmaster. Meng Qi saw Yemo walk out of the illusion formation and start to spend less and less time on formations. Eventually, he spent most of the time collecting spirit herbs. There were a few level 8 spirit herbs at the 17th disc. Meng Qi finally couldn't resist asking, "Martial Brother Yi, you've broken through?" Yemo smiled. "That's right. I've just reached level 9 formation Grandmaster. So the 17th disc formations pose no threat to me. I went down a wrong path before. Otherwise, I would have reached level 9 formation Grandmaster earlier." Meng Qi took a cold breath in. Yemo really became a level 9 formation Grandmaster in such a short time. Were there really such people in the world? She had completely forgotten she was on Yemo's back now and said after a while, "Martial Brother Yi, when you went into the Chu 18 discs, were you certain you could break through to level 9 formation Grandmaster?" Yemo shook his head. "How can that be possible? I wasn't certain at all, but the Chu 18 discs is a special place. It helps greatly with understanding formations. I think this is set up by some ancient sect to help sect members understand formations." If Yemo wasn't able to break through to level 9 formation Grandmaster, he still had his backup. He would go into the Golden Page world and ask Ji Ling for help. If even Ji Ling couldn't help him, he would hide into the Golden Page world. When the two reached the 18th disc, they were shocked by the scene before them. At this moment, they realized that they stood at the peak of the 18th disc. There was no pressure nor formation here. This meant that Chu 18 discs only had 17 discs. The last disc was just for show. At the peak in the middle, there was a huge spirit gathering formation, and in the center there were two extreme dense spirit chi spirit ranges. Extreme grade spirit range. Meng Qi yelled out in shock. She had never seen one before, but she recognized it. Yemo took a cold breath in too. They were really indeed extreme grade spirit ranges. What shocked him the most were the two white jade tables next to the spirit range. Each table had something on it. The first was a female-style handkerchief, and the other was an azure ore. Yemo was sure that the handkerchief was beyond an extreme grade cultivation artifact. This meant that it might be a low-grade immortal artifact. However, it was for women. The azure ore caught Yemo's attention more. Usually blue gave people a cool feeling, but Yemo felt this intense heat from it. "It's an extreme grade cultivation artifact," Meng Qi called out, and her eyes were full of desire as she stared at the handkerchief. But she immediately remembered she was still on Yemo's back and quickly said, "Martial Brother Yi, put me down. There's no pushing force here." Yemo put her down and stared at the handkerchief. That's definitely not an extreme-grade cultivation artifact. I have a feeling it's a low-grade immortal artifact. Huh? Meng Qi's embarrassment retreated, and her face was covered in shock. Even only a rare few 9-star sects could have low-grade immortal artifacts. The handkerchief is yours, the blue or is mine, Yi Mo said without hesitation. He felt that or would benefit him greatly, but he didn't know how. Meng Qi quickly waved her hand. I won't take it. You can have it all, Martial Brother Yi. I can only come here because of you. I just want you to take me out of here, and let me use the space travel rune to leave Luoyu continent, and I will be very happy. Yi Mo smiled. Does it look like I'm someone who takes everything for myself? That handkerchief is for girls. Since we encountered it, we can share it. I will take one of the extreme grade spirit ranges. Meng Qi quickly said, I won't take the spirit range. I can't take it. She already agreed to Yi Mo giving her the handkerchief. Yi Mo nodded. I know you can't take it, but the other one can't be taken. It must be left here. Why? Meng Qi asked in confusion. Yi Mo waved his hand. It's hard to explain, but you just need to know it must not be taken away. If Yi Mo took away the other one, it might cause the formations to fail like in the Ice God Forbidden Grounds. That would be suicide. Just when Yi Mo took out the spirit range, he felt something was wrong. He couldn't care to think much, and threw the handkerchief to Meng Qi while he took the blue, or at the same time he released Blue Moon. Meng Qi realized the moment she felt the handkerchief that it was definitely higher than an extreme-grade cultivation artifact. As soon as Meng Qi got on Blue Moon, Yi Mo threw out a few formation flags and Blue Moon went into stealth mode. He dashed out of Chu 18 discs and left. When Yi Mo took one of the extreme-grade spirit ranges, everyone felt a rumble on the island. What's going on? Some cultivators called out. In that instant, the remaining contestants were teleported out. Wang Tsang breathed easy. The Tong High Sects people weren't able to pass the 9th disc and were teleported out. But that rumbling didn't go on for very long before stopping. When Yong Lani saw that Yi Mo wasn't teleported out, his power rose, and he reached out to grab Jing Xueqing, who went into the 11th disc. He was the only cultivator who passed the 10th disc, and Yi Mo had gone missing in the 10th disc, so the first he was going to ask was Jing Xueqing. But before his hand reached Jing Xueqing, another cultivation essence giant hand reached out, and the two hands collided. A huge explosion sounded, and a huge ravine appeared where they clashed. Cult leader Yong has such a big temper, but it's not enough to do what you want with the Songhai Palace. A cold voice sounded, and a middle-aged man stood out. Yong Lani calmed down. He realized his actions were inappropriate just then. He could do that to other people, but not to Songhai Palace cultivators. The first king of Songhai Palace, Jing Xiangdong, was only a little weaker than him, and was also Truth Realization State Level 9. Realizing this, Yong Lani saluted with his fists. Brother Jean, I was desperate to get revenge for my son. Sorry about the offense, but can Brother Jean let your son tell me if he saw Yi Mo at the 10th disc? Hearing this, everyone looked at Wang Tsang contemptuously. Yong Lani did the same thing to Sea Cultivator Alliance and Songhai Palace, but Songhai Palace dared to retaliate while Sea Cultivator Alliance acted like a coward. Wang Tsang heard this, of course, and his face was extremely bleak, but he didn't say anything. Hearing this, Jin Xiangdong looked at his son. Xueqing, he's asking you a question. If you want to answer, then answer. If you don't want to answer, then let's go. Hearing this, Yong Lani's face went green, but he couldn't use this as an excuse to start war with Songhai Palace. The three kings didn't differ much in power. He wouldn't be able to get the upper hand if they fought. Jin Xueqing realized something and looked at his father in confusion. Father, that Yi Mo didn't come out? How is that possible? We became friends in the 18 discs. Jin Xiangdong heard this and laughed. Xueqing, good eyes. That Yi Mo is a worthy friend. Hearing their conversation, Yong Lani's face grew worse, but he realized that Jin Shuecheng probably didn't know where Yemo was. Then he looked at Meng Hanan and asked coldly, "Vice Alliance leader Meng, you should know your disciple. How is she?" Meng Hanan was shook. She knew she had support, but in front of Yong Lani that was nothing. She also felt despair. Ever since the last alliance leader went missing and vice alliance leader Wang Tsang took over, the Sea Cultivator Alliance was far from what they used to be. They were still one of the big three, but they were undoubtedly the weakest. Meng Hanan was shook. She knew she had support, but in front of Yong Lani, that was nothing. She also felt despair. Ever since the last alliance leader went missing and vice alliance leader Wang Tsang took over, the Sea Cultivator Alliance was far from what they used to be. They were still one of the big three, but they were undoubtedly the weakest. She took out a jade card and gave it to Yong Lani. "Meng Qi has a spirit sense mark. You can feel it through this." Yong Lani took it and scanned his spirit sense before frowning and saying, "This spirit sense mark is still inside the Chu 18 discs. This means your disciple Meng Qi is still inside." Meng Hanan bowed and said, "Theoretically, yes, but this spirit sense mark only moved around in a small area for a few days now. I'm not sure." Yong Lani had a bad feeling, and that was Yemo had left, but he didn't believe his judgment, as one had to reach the 18th disc in order to leave. That means one needed to be a level 9 formation grandmaster. And no matter how much of a genius Yemo was, there was no way he could reach level 9 formation grandmaster within 100 years. The tournament had ended, but no cultivator had left. Everyone wanted to know when Yemo and Meng Qi would come out and see what awaited them. Jin Shuecheng had made up his mind that no matter what, he would help Yemo this time. For cultivators, a few days were nothing and 18 days soon passed. The Chu 18 discs were shrouded in mist again and disappeared from sight. Everyone knew that Yemo wouldn't be coming out as the Chu 18 discs had shut. It would appear 50 years later. Yong Lani's face was green. His cult lost this tournament miserably, and he was played like a fool. Most importantly, his son was killed by Yemo inside, and he swore to kill Yemo, but Yemo was nowhere to be seen. Meng Hanan felt sad. Since Meng Qi could leave with Yemo, it meant that she found the spirit sense mark on her body. She didn't know how disappointed Meng Qi would be after finding that. She knew that even if she saw her disciple again, they wouldn't be as close as before. At this moment, Blue Moon had left the 3 seas for more than 10 days. It was getting faster and faster. Meng Qi felt the speed and rejoiced that she asked Yemo for help. Otherwise, even if Yong Wuzi died, she wouldn't live well. If her master didn't suspect her at all, she wouldn't be planting a spirit sense mark on her. Ever since Yemo left, he had been studying the blue, or along with cultivation. Even with his knowledge, he didn't know what this blue or was. "Martial brother, I want to ask you of one thing." Half a month later, Meng Qi requested. Yemo looked at her and smiled. "I know what you want, but no rush. We've been traveling quite a long way, but it's still not safe yet. After another half month, I will find a place to set up spirit gathering formation for you. We've gone through hardship together. We can be considered friends. I can help you with this." Hearing this, Meng Qi got up in surprise and joy and bowed. "Thank you, Martial Brother Yi. It's my honor to be friends with you." Half a month later, on a barren island in the Heartless Sea, Yemo took out an extreme grade spirit range and put up a stealth spirit formation to cover the spirit chi before setting up a spirit gathering formation on it. Meng Qi felt the extremely dense spirit chi in the formation. It was so dense that she felt she didn't need to cultivate, and her cultivation level was increasing. She breathed satisfyingly and bowed to Yemo. "After today, we might never see each other again. But Martial Brother, you will always be Meng Qi's big brother. Please accept my bow. If it wasn't for you, I might never be able to return home." After realizing the spirit sense mark on her, Meng Qi knew that she was too naive before. She might have been traded off by the Sea Cultivator Alliance before she reached higher cultivation states. Yemo waved his hand. Hurry up and use your rune. It's the Heartless Sea, and although my stealth spirit formation is good, if the spirit chi attracts high-level spirit beasts, then it wouldn't be good. Yes, Meng Chi will be leaving. Take care, Brother Yi, Meng Chi said. Then she took out a golden rune from her dantian and spat essence blood on it. The golden rune activated and turned into a golden whirlpool. It expanded until it covered Meng Chi entirely. The spirit chi ran rapidly and was sucked away. Yemo was shook. This rune was too taxing on spirit chi without an extreme grade spirit range. He might really not be able to use it. According to this, even if she reached higher cultivation states, if she couldn't find a top-grade spirit range and level 9 spirit gathering formation, she still wouldn't be able to use the rune. Meng Chi realized this too when she saw how much spirit chi the space travel rune was devouring. She rejoiced that she had met Yemo, this level 9 formation Grand Master. Although Meng Chi still wanted to say thank you, the golden circle spun faster and faster until it took her away. With a thud, the spirit chi was too volatile and the stealth spirit formation exploded. The dense spirit chi spread out immediately. Yemo quickly took out formation flags and took the extreme grade spirit range back into his golden page world. As soon as Yemo did this, 2 figures landed on the island. Yemo was shook thinking they couldn't be this fast. He just took away the spirit range, and people were here. Such dense spirit chi. One person said, but the other said nothing. Yemo saw clearly that there were 2 cultivators here, one cauldron filling state level 8, and the one behind was disaster transformation state level 1. Yemo realized that they were just passing by. The cauldron filling state level 8 was running, and the disaster transformation state level 1 was hunting him. The cauldron filling state cultivator had a medium build and a bronze-colored face. His hair wasn't long, but he released a thick sword. It was a middle-grade cultivation artifact. That disaster transformation state cultivator had 2 small points of mustache, reminding Yemo of that Dongfang Shi on Earth. Immediately, Yemo already had a bad impression of this disaster transformation state cultivator. However, that disaster transformation state instead looked at Yemo. Yemo frowned and cursed his bad luck. He knew that this guy wasn't going to let him go easily. That disaster transformation state frowned at Yemo. What was here before? Did you take it? Otherwise, why is the spirit chi dissipating? A disaster transformation state level 1. Yemo was sure he couldn't beat him, but he felt he could still run. Thinking about this, Yemo said calmly, "No matter what's here, it has nothing to do with you. How dare you, a mere body condensation state cultivator, talk to me like this?" That disaster transformation state released a red ray. Before Yemo could even see what it was, it already smashed at Yemo's head. Yemo was furious. There was no reason in the cultivation realm. Indeed, power was everything. Yemo released Sisu and hacked. He didn't use Illusion Cloud, and just hacked out with all his cultivation essence. He knew that the disaster transformation state didn't use his full power either. The red ray and purple ray clashed and splashed apart. Yemo was sent flying away a few hundred meters. His cultivation essence rushed around his body, almost making him spit blood. You're tuning into the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.